start of the second half of Term 3 on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club in 2024. Welcome, everybody. Nice to have your company wherever you're tuning in all around Australia or indeed the world across Facebook, Twitch and YouTube as we centre in on Road Atlanta in Atlanta, Georgia, home or host setting, rather, I should say, to round 6 of the merch.tgsrci.com Super 2 Championship. We return to covering the top split tonight. 3 o'clock local time as the cars line up on the grid. August 11, 2024. 31 degrees the ambient, 49 on track. That's very warm. Partly cloudy conditions and 3 km/h winds in a southeasterly direction. That's all you need to know. Let's have a look at the championship points. Brenton Hobson on top, 279. Connor Nixon, 227, and Angus Lawford, 216. No real catching hobbo at this point, I don't think. 199 for David Kirby, 178 for Jason Spriggs, Tim Nicol, 167, and Alex Court, 160, take us back to 7th. The grid for tonight is Brenton Hobson and Liam Reston on the front row, Aidan Cale and Angus Lawford the second row, Connor Nixon and Jason Spriggs the third row, Tyson Broad, David Kirby from row 4, and Michael Hammond and Kurt Chapman from 5. Jackson Rayhana and Blake Fitz from 6, Tim Nicol, Trent Allen from 7, Alex Court, Mark Gomez from 8, and then Stephen Varga, Leif McClymont, Will Buchanan, Daniel Sned, and Sean Vandermeulen and John Simpson make up the field. We're ready to fire here from Road Atlanta. Week 6, Night 1, Term 3. Have a look at this. Rapidly racing towards the end of another campaign on the platforms of the GSRC. A lot of exciting news in sim racing world over the course of the weekend. We'll tackle that as the night goes on. The Olympics are in the rearview mirror, which means GSRC competition returns to being front and centre focus for motorsport enthusiasts on a Monday night. Great jump from Brenton Hobson, who blasted up the inside to hold sway in turn 1. We're watching Angus Lawford tuck at a third spot behind Aidan Cale. Side by side, the rest of the field as they make their way up for the first time to the top of the hill. Looks like a little bit of willy-nilly going on back in the field. But we're clear. We're clean at the moment. Good to see. Good start for all concerned. No Pete Matson, no David Kirby on the grid tonight. Not sure what's happened there for Curbs. We'll find out shortly, I'm sure.
So
Hello, Adam.
So Pete's joined the wrong server, so I'm assuming he jumped across the right server. Kirby was in practice earlier, so not sure what's up there.
He's just got on the track now. He's
been caught in the caught his pants down the bathroom break.
Yep. That's unfortunately a bad way to start the night for David Kirby. We'll find out more about that a little bit later on, I am sure. Down the inside, here's a move. Liam Reston trying to get by. No, can't get it done. And Kurt Chapman's lost out to Connor Nixon as well, who slipped back to 4th. Nixon, oh no, trouble. In on the grass, Jackson Rayhana. A rejoin for Rayhana puts him down to the bottom of the field with the exception of David Kirby. Across the line we go.
Alex Court must have got a jump start.
Hopping tonight. Sorry?
Alex Court must have jumped the start. He's in the lane.
Oh, yeah, okay. So drama right off the top for 3 pretty good peddlers. Kirby missing the start. Rayhana slipping at the top of the hill. Court running down pit lane for a drive-through. And Daniel Snedden now off the road as well. Zach Cabin and Adam Lavis with you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, right through until about 10:30 Eastern time. As soon as we're done here, we turn our attention to Jason Spriggs. Relegated there as Liam Reston gets the elbows out and forces his way through on the inside. Now, that entry in 7th position, that's Michael Hammond. Now, it was a little bit off-putting, I must say, because that's the teal sort of colour that Paul Wood's been running in recent times. Hammond's running it as well, and it's looking good down the back straight, up into 7th. I knew it was a Bailey Ladders car, I just couldn't identify which one.
You know, Mikey's on the teal lane as well. He's got teal in all his series as well at the moment.
I just haven't seen much of Mikey in the last 5 weeks, I must say. Round onto the main straight. So Hobson leads 1 minute 20.528 and is clear. The Vermilion Motorsport entry of Aidan Cale is second, and Angus Lawford is third in the Project 36 entry. The first of the Ford runners at the moment. Holden 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, and 9. 4 Ford 6 Commodores in the top 10. Mustang v Opel Door, isn't that the way you describe it, Adam?
Yeah, that's it. It's definitely not a Holden, whatever it is.
No, that's it's just impersonating. Oh dear, I love it. Now off goes Will Buchanan. Buchanan off the road. You see him rejoining there. He's all good, but he's down now in 17th position. So mistakes are going to be the way back into the race for the likes of Kirby and Court, and also Ray Harner. So this is what happened to Sean van der Meulen on the opening lap. Oh, jeez. He had company, and he nearly collected someone else on the rebound. So yes, it's been a pretty big weekend, hasn't it? The return of NASCAR, the return of the World Superbikes, the end of the Olympics, and everybody just catching their breath after a very, very entertaining closing ceremony this morning in Paris. Paralympics are on their fortnight away, and we look forward to them immensely as well. Here comes Liam Reston in the meantime. Oh no, Michael Hammond's had a monster moment. Hammond's in the wall, and that's a really precarious place to be. And how did he get there? More to the point, he's on the tow rope. Hammond's night's done. May as well be. Let's have a look at this. Uh-oh. He's had some help here, hasn't he? He's come back to defend and... Oh, wow. More to the point, who was that gave him the touch? Was that Connor? I didn't get the ident of the car that sent Michael Hammond there, but by gee, that's going to be a big moment and a big talking point tonight, because as soon as I saw where he was, I was like, how on earth has he gotten there?
I'm guessing it was because on my tracker, Connor is the first person to pass Mikey.
Yeah, copy. Side by side down the back straight, Tim Nicol, Kurt Chapman and Blake Fitz. Have a look at these three. Now, well, in the absence of David Kirby, Connor Dixon's found a new sparring partner. It would seem. But then again, Mikey Hammond has a bit of history with a few different drivers in this club. And he's just written a new verse in the chapter with Connor Dixon tonight. Kurt Chapman, relegated to 11th there. On the inside goes Mark Gomez, and they're off the road as well. Chapman, bowling it wide. Varga down the inside, goes to 11th. What the hell is going on here?
None of the cars look very stable. They're all wobbling around a lot. Like the front and rear axles keep trying to pass each other.
This is extraordinary. What a start of the night. 6 minutes in, we're on lap 5. 1 minute 20 lap times, so that's what? 3 laps every 4 minutes. 6 4s and 6 3s, 18. 19 laps, I think, is race distance tonight. Once you take in the splash and dash run down pit lane. And there will be a little bit of overtime attached to it, obviously. So Nicol and Varga are working here, trying to work their way through. But Gomez is forcing the issue. Gomez is now hung out to dry because Nicol's going to get a push along here from Varga. And Varga's going to try and nab Gomez as well. And behind them is, of course, Kurt Chapman. I'll tell you what, good defence from Mark Gomez. He's made those blokes work for it. Whoa, that was almost definitely a touch.
The QPR guys almost took each other out then. They were bump drafting, and then the second car didn't back off for the kink. Almost took the first car out.
More argy-bargy there. That was Chapman and Varga rubbing panels down the lane. So there'll be a fair bit to pick apart in all of this. The first one will be what was David Kirby doing. The second is Michael Hammond's out of the race. He's parked up and done. The third will be that Alex Court was a little bit trigger happy on the throttle at the start, and we'll need to get to the bottom of that one. A jump start for Alex Court, really unfortunate. And now we've got Tim Nicol in 10th place fighting for dear life. 6-car battle pack, for goodness sake. Fitz, Gomez, Nicol, Chapman, Varga and Allen. And here is what happened to Alex Court. Oh, yes. A clear jump from Court. That wasn't just a creep, that was a crawl. On the subject, actually, couple of things. Congratulations to friends of mine, well, a friend of mine and her partner, Victoria. They've successfully welcomed a little healthy bub into the world, a baby boy. over the weekend. Congratulations also to Ryan Cash, the TCR race winner from last round at QR. He's 20 today. Happy birthday, mate. And get well to Craig Bond as well, one of our new regular viewers down there in the Riverina in Wagga and Gundagai, who came home feeling a little bit worse for wear from a karting race meeting over the course of the weekend and took today off school, which is also explaining why. Here we go. Hello to Josh Zuno, and off the road goes Kurt Chapman. He explains why I never heard from him this afternoon with regards to getting on the PlayStation and playing F1 23. Trent Allen, Leith McClymont have taken the pit road. Michael Hammond out of business. And this, oh, there it is. So 1 minute Chapman was getting into Varga, the next into Nickel. You can take your actually, no, it's too early to interact with that comment and tell you what I really think of it. What were the IOC smoking when they put brake dents on it? For goodness sake. Right, Tyson Broad, 4th place at the moment. Had the pleasure of commentating him and a few others on Friday night in another event, in another server, in another series. He had an okay run for a good portion of the night and then just didn't nab the result at the back end. However, Connor Nixon's now taken a pit lane. So too has Stephen Varga. And unfortunately, that little contretemps there between, well, firstly, Nixon and Hammond, and secondly, Varga, Nickel, and also Chapman has, thank you, I just saw him drop down the order in the pit lane. I lost him in transit. That's split and divided and spread this field out beyond enjoyment levels. Let's hope that when we bunch the field back up, once the field is cleansed after the pit lane sequence, that we've got a battle like this to look forward to. Riding on board with the great man Brenton Hobson. Making it look easy. Race of Champions, stock cars, TCR, and also supercars. He's racked up a fair degree of success on the platforms of the GSRC, across the top and down. Let's ride with the great man and watch him go hard at work. Just bask in the magic of that for a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Sit there and appreciate the skill set of Brenton Hobson. Hard at work, doing his thing. There goes Tyson Broad to pit lane. Angus Lawford goes with him. End of lap 9. The critical lap for these guys. Josh Zuno, thank you for the feedback. I'm not sure what was going on there. I can hear me loud and clear. Adam can hear me loud and clear. Hopefully everybody else can as well. Very rare. In fact, it's usually the worst bit of advice anyone can offer in motorsport is that they can't hear me. I usually try and find a way to wind the wick up intentionally then. No reason to at the moment. Pit lane becoming busier with Will Buchanan making his way down. Haven't seen any penalties come up on the screen here, but I'm sure race control would be reviewing some tape at the moment. Most specifically that incident with Michael Hammond and Connor Nixon. Here's Connor Nixon now. Back up in 5th spot. Everyone with the exception of Alex Court, Jackson Rayhana, Liam Reston, Aidan Cale and Brenton Hobson, the race leader, have completed their splash and dash. They're good to race to the checkered flag. Here down on the inside. Good move. Alex Court relegated to 7th. Tyson Broad makes his way up to 6th. Court already compromised by the... Oh, no, more trouble down the back straight. Blake Fitz has had a bobble up over the crest at the top of the hill at the end of the first sector and is very lucky to still be pointing in the right direction and in one piece. Let's go back to the battle here. Jason Spriggs and Angus Lawford. Lawford dives to the inside. Lunges! Lawford goes to 8th. No, not yet, not yet. No, up and under, up and under. That'll work. Lawford down the inside. Gets his man eventually. Briggs will stay there and try and force the issue on the run to turn 1, but he's unable to do so. Lawford's covered it off. Oh, that's nicely done. Court, Rayhana and Reston still yet to stop. Hobbo's been gone, come and went from pit lane, 10.77. The stop time for him. Great to see Reston back on the server. Rayhana recovering from an early moment. So Rayhana and Court compromised by those respective indiscretions and not necessarily factoring into the fight here. This is Hobson's race to lose. Oh, another little bobble. Fits down the inside of McClymont. Can't get it done. Reston to pit lane. 15 minutes gone. Inside the final 10. We're right on board with Connor Nixon, who has a case to answer a little bit later on tonight. Aidan Cale goes through to 2nd. Nixon to 3rd. Broad to 4th. Reston and Rayhana are going to come back out. Buried in the pack. Reston in 5th. And then Spriggs and Lawford. Rayhana and Court now both on pit lane. So that lap there, 11, seemed to be the critical number for a lot of these guys. The field is now cleansed. We're racing to the checkered flag. And I was waiting. I was wondering when he was going to pop his head into the central commentary position and say hello to us. David, good evening to you, Mr. Kirby, for those of you tuning in at home wondering who's David. A regular here in the booth on a Monday night. Did the watch stop? Did the bladder go a little bit funny and you had to attend to the bathroom? What's going on here, mate? Because 1 minute you're in the server, next minute you're missing the start by a good length.
Yeah, unfortunately, looks like everything had a bit of a hissy fit and dropped my chips whilst on the grid. So, trying to get back into the server, and obviously I think I come back in about half a lap down, so on the lead lap, so that's not too bad, but look, I've made a pass tonight, so I'm happy with that.
And you've avoided carnage.
Was there much?
Well, let's just say that in the absence of you, Connor Nixon's found a new friend.
I did hear that. I was back for that one.
Yep. So, yes, we will cover that off in a bit more detail when we speak to Connor at the end of the race. What are your impressions on Road Atlanta, mate? Obviously, it's a blow to you to be finishing down there in 19th. It's probably going to be. Pending any other retirements and the like. But it's a great racetrack and it always throws up good racing. It's just a shame that you're not in the thick of it.
Yeah, look, 100%. I was really looking forward to it. Obviously, I've been doing a little bit of practice over the weekend for my main weekly series that I run here on Thursday night. But I tell you what, there's a big difference between the two. So here tonight, looks like we are racing on the surface of the sun. 54-degree track temp is not ideal.
Yeah.
Not
ideal at all.
I was saying to Zach earlier, it was pretty clear. You can even see the cars squirming around through the corners.
Mate, I've got my graphics settings set to full high, And this is the first time that I've actually seen the haze on the horizon. So I'm getting full heat haze, especially right here. I don't know if you're on me or not, but in through here on the entrance to the back straight. And then as I head down into turn 10, yeah, it is like everything's moving up on the horizon. It's actually pretty cool, but quite disturbing.
Anyone watching on a phone probably can't see it, but anyone watching on a big screen, we can actually see it on our broadcast. Just in the foreground, everything's a bit wobbly.
Oh yeah. So the tyres don't like it. The setup I'm on 100% does not like these temperatures. But hey, look, it's all about lap time. It's all about having fun. That's what I'm here for on a Monday night. And look, although I could have just gone, you know what, thrown the hands up in the air, gone and had a beer and be done with the night. But look, we got back in. We'll have some laps. How long we got to go? 5 minutes. Or I reckon I can get Mr. Flash Graphics up here.
That's it. All right.
I can see him.
We will keep an eye on that and see if you can. You're 4.5 seconds away from him at the moment. Tyson Broad's off the road. Broad's at a moment at the end of the back straight. Through the chicane. He's come out on the grass. Broad drops down to 4th place. And now in the clutches of Liam Reston, who's trying to get up on the outside. A little bit off-putting here at the moment because I've just had a missed call from the great man Ryan Casher, but thankfully it was only a pocket dial, so there's nothing untoward going on there. Oh, they're both in the grass. Reston around the outside of Broad. Pressured him into a second mistake. And Reston pounces and Broad is back to 5th.
Well, Reston would have been happy there because Broad looked like he was trying to defend the position whilst trying to do his slow down at the same time, which is not the gentleman way of racing. That's a bit dirty, but Reston's got his spot, so now it's a matter of can he keep it.
Oh boy. Hobson and then Kale, Nixon, 1, 2 and 3, Reston and Broad 4 and 5, and Lawford is 6th. Then Spriggs, Gomez, Varga and Allen. Reston. What a charge this has been. So, Daniel Snedden's just reporting that his connection has dropped, so there's another position gained for you, David. Up into 19th, look at you go. Excellent. Michael Hammond out, Daniel Snedden out. Sean Vandermeer on the last of the runners on the circuit at the moment. Alex Courtsunday come out in 17th after his pit stop and his earlier drive-through penalty.
John's looking scared.
And so he should be. I mean, you took 1.6 out of him last time round. So we'll keep an eye on this. There he is on screen. Mr. Flash Graphics himself. It does look good, that kid. No doubt about that.
You got a break later than that, Johnny boy. Come on.
In-race sledging, courtesy of David Kirby. Live on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club for everybody to enjoy. We can't continue down that line too strenuously, I wouldn't imagine, because Johnny's a good sponsor of ours, so we don't want to bag the sponsor.
Yeah, he's a top bloke. He's helped me out many times.
An absolute legend in this caper, no doubt about that. There's Trent Allen in 10th spot at the moment. Back to Blake Fitz, back to Leith McClymont, back to Tim Nicol. They're all trying to stay with or catch Stephen Varga. Bottom of shot now, going through. Hobson has just started lap 22. Sorry, lap 17 at the 22-minute mark, I should say. And that... Oh, no! Off goes Blake Fitz. That'll be a slowdown as well. He has to get out of the gas and get going.
Oh, it's a drag race.
There's Kirby and Simpson side by side on the back straight. Here we go.
Give me a side draft.
17th position. Is it 18th? Up the outside. Gets by Simpson. Kirby goes to 18th. All the meanwhile, Jono's looking at him saying, what the hell are you doing this far back down the order?
Hanging out.
Exactly. Kirby into 18th. Next time by, off goes Tyson Broad again. Geez, his tyres aren't liking this second stint, are they? And
There you go.
uh-oh. My feed here in the studio froze momentarily. Angus Lawford have just picked up now that it's restored. Lawford sitting there in 6th ahead of Jason Spriggs. Hobson's coming to the line. 2 laps to go. There should not be a white flag out. He was back well in time. Squeeze the second one. So it'll be about a minute and a quarter of overtime tonight, but well worth it to squeeze that extra lap in. We're on lap 18 now. Hobson's on the way home. Here's Tim Nicol down the outside of Leith McClymont. Oh, a little bit of hip and shoulder, but he got the job done. McClymont sideways, standing on the gas on the exit of the corner. They hit the top of the hill. They drop down. That's one of the great things about the Road Atlanta racecourse. There are overtaking opportunities, no doubt about that. But at the same time, oh, here's the response. Down the inside, McClymont could lose 12th here. Oh, trouble, sliding. They gathered it up. That was Blake Fitz on the comeback march.
You can just see how much they're sliding from that curb, Cam. None of them were ever actually following their wheel tracks.
Madness on a Monday night at Road Atlanta. That's the great thing about this circuit. Flowy, tight corners, fast corners, switchback left, right, plenty of overtaking opportunities and plenty of character and undulation. Something severely lacking in a lot of other racetracks these days. Brenton Hobson to the start-finish line. We'll get the white flag, I would imagine. White flag is out last lap. Let's go. Can we confirm or deny that Barney is doing his job tonight? Where's Blake Fitz in 13th? It would appear so. But yeah, there he is. There he is. He's actually waving the white flag. Good boy. Jason Spriggs in 7th. And chasing Angus Lawford. This battle resumes further back. It's 5 deep at the moment. It's Nicol, McClymont. It's Fitz, Chapman, and it's Ray Harner. The 5 of them. Ray Harner, 15th, trying to get himself back up into 14th on Kurt Chapman here. Can't get it done. Court's under pressure from Buchanan as well. The battle for 16th. Kirby's consolidated 18th and broken well clear of John Simpson. Whoa, Court hanging off the road. Buchanan up the inside. Squeeze job, nothing given. Oh, wow. No room at all. Court played ultra defensive. Neither one of them wanted to give, and through they went. But good thing is they're still pointing in the right direction. Oh, no, look at that. Some big saves already tonight. Checkered flag is out. Hobbo's too good again. And 1 minute 20.489, the fastest lap of the race. No one was catching him tonight. Second to Aidan Carl. Third to Connor Nixon with an asterisk next to that. I haven't heard from race control yet. 4th, Reston. 5th, Broad. Then Lawford holding off Spriggs. Here's this battle further back. Survey Rage. Fitz and Chapman and Ray Harner and Fitz. Oh, big one gone! Didn't wipe anyone else out with him, did Chapman. Very lucky not. Did Court. Very lucky not to do so.
It was Chapman.
It was Chapman. Oh, wow. And Court and Buchanan still duking it out on the run to the line. Court down the inside. Court gets him at the line. Wow. It was only the battle for 16th, but it was on in earnest. Ray Harner got pipped by Fitz. Chapman missed out altogether. Court came home just ahead of Buchanan and then Kirby and Simpson.
And I'm out of fuel.
And a case of what might have been for David Kirby.
Nah.
Given the pace that he had.
Yeah, I was looking at the timing. There was a lot of green. I was out there by myself, so...
All right, let's have a look at that and then pick apart the big talking point of the night. No surprise that straight away Connor Nixon has graced us with his presence in the booth. He's always up for a chat, and we will get to him in just a moment. Angus Lawford's in the house. David Kirby, Greg Brooks, and Chris Stark as well. We'll start with those gentlemen in just a moment. Half an hour until we are lining up on the grid at Imola for GT3 Pro in just a few moments. Another dominant victory from Brenton Hobson, who you'll hear from soon as well. And the master of the class back in victory lane and back in formidable form. 6.96 seconds in the end ahead of Kale. Nixon, Reston, Broad, then Lawford, Spriggs, Gomez, Varga, and Allen the top 10. Nickel, McClymont, Rayhana, Chapman, Court, then Buchanan, Kirby, Fitz, and Simpson made up the running order. Van der Meulen was a lap down. Daniel Snedden didn't get home due to technical issues. The mechanical issues of the sim world, as we like to refer to them as. And Michael Hammond got absolutely centenate concrete early in the race. The big moment of the night. We'll review that in just a few moments' time. An update from Super 3, please, Chris Stark.
I had to earn that one, Zach. Just finished in front of the recently demoted Gregory Brooks by 0.188 of a second.
Well, there you go. Well, it's about time you had to work for one, Starkey. The last couple have come to you pretty easily.
Oh, I know. I got a good start as usual. Got pole, got a good start, but Aaron Bryan, he kept me honest. He finished P3 behind Brooksy by 3 seconds. Then Anthony Cuthbertson, who welcome back, Anth. Greg Spencer, Shane Dowens, Nick Fodiatis, Dave Lawler, Troy Davison, and Mark McNamara make out the top 10 for Super 3.
These guys only got to 18 laps. It was 4 seconds. That's all it was for Hobbo that got us to 19 laps in the top split tonight. So very fine margins. What's that 3 on the trot, Starkey?
I want to say yes, but I don't want to get promoted. 52 degrees. The tyres just went off so fast. It was hard. It was hard work.
And 4th win of the season as well. It's important to note. The great man Nick Fodiatis has dropped in to the house to have a chat to us as well. So plenty of voices to be heard from in the next few moments here on the platforms of the GSRC, with thanks to merch.tgsrci.com, the post-race show for Super 2 and Super 3. And Nick's already given me the first talking point when I get to him in just a few moments' time.
28th to 7th for Nick. That's awesome.
Thank you, Stark. Yeah, very nicely done. And it's important to note, too, it's his first race back with the ongoing computer issues that he's had. So for that to be behind him now, one of our regular mainstays here, it can be eyes forward, as another former mainstay, Paul Nichols, would say, for the balance of the season.
Have you recovered well, Nick? I heard you were a bit sick.
Well, I wasn't going to talk. I was just going to message Zach. As you can hear, I'm still sick.
Yeah,
so I only just got my voice back yesterday.
Mate, these ongoing flus, they're a killer, and they just take it out of you.
Yeah, it's not good.
Well, I was going to say, Nick, nice to have you back on board, mate. We won't make you strain the voice box too much there, mate. But very good to have you back, and no doubt, hopefully, a sign of things to come. Maybe not necessarily always in the supercar, but definitely, you know, the other categories that we know that you love, like the IndyCar, like the GT4.
Yeah, I'll look. That's the intention. Spent some good money at M-Wave. Thank you to M-Wave. I've got it up and running. So far, so good. There's no micro stutters, nothing's happening. That's out of the ordinary. That was the first test. I'm knackered, and as you can hear in my voice, I'm still crook.
I've had moments like that, mate, but the voice box has only been in that sort of a state through motorsport commentary, not illness. So I don't envy you in the slightest, because I can only imagine it's not any better.
I couldn't commentate on Friday night, so I had no voice. So I did race control and I whispered everything.
That's everything. Well, I was wondering what the hell was going on, because as you guys know, I was loaned out for the night to Hobbo's mob, and they were very appreciative of that. But I never got a chance to go back and have a look at what was going on with IndyCar, and all I heard was a little brief synopsis of it tonight from Adam Lavis. So Jackson Rayhana just commenting there, saying back to school for him as well. Hey, Nick, go and rest it up, mate. Strepsils, honey, and everything else.
Yeah, doing all that.
Hopefully talk to you later in the week.
All right, thank you.
There he is, Nick Fodiatis, 25th to 7th. Nice hard charge at a circuit that I know he doesn't mind either, so that'll make it all the sweeter for him. Starkey, let me get your final thoughts on this before we throw it around the room. Let's have a look at what's to come as far as our calendar's concerned. I mean, next week, Fuji International Speedway. So we're going Oriental on a Monday night. What are your thoughts on that?
I've actually already been and done laps there, Zach. I haven't raced Fuji much, so I found a setup. And I was doing some practice there rather than Road Atlanta. I've done a million laps around Road Atlanta, so I jumped into Fuji, and I think it'll be a good track. That front straight is gonna, I think we might see a couple of Visser moments at the end of that one.
Yep, Adam Lavis, do you mind just pausing the tape there and rewinding it about 15 seconds, please? Because we've just seen the big moment of the race in Super 2, and I want to see it again without the calendar there on screen. Watkins Glen, Red Bull, and Mountain Panorama to finish us off after Fuji. So 4 different countries in 4 weeks to get us to the checkered flag in Term 3. Starkey, well done. Congratulations. Let me talk to the bloke that you just pipped at the line in Greg Brooks. Brooksy, I had no idea that you'd been demoted firstly, so I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing as far as you're concerned. But as far as the race was concerned, it must have been nice to be at the pointy end and going toe-to-toe with Starkey, but you were unable to pip him.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I don't mind being dropped to S3. I mean, I was really struggling with this version of Supercar, so it was kind of a bit of a relief going from 3 to 4 seconds a lap slower than everyone else last race in S2 to being competitive in this one. It's it's not too bad. So it was a good race. Early on, cold tires, all that jazz. I did my typical Brooksy thing and stuffed something up at some point. So then worked my way back through the field, and Starkey just had every area covered where I felt comfortable to pass. Again, still not being comfortable with this car. I was kind of having struggles and apprehensive on making overtakes. So yeah, he just kept covering me off too much for me to be able to feel comfortable in going for it. But yeah, it was good fun, nice and close racing.
Indeed. And obviously the Road Atlanta circuit one that agrees with you by the looks of the result.
Yeah, I've driven a lot of Road Atlanta. First time in a V8 supercar, but the concept felt pretty well the same as a Porsche. The Porsche Cup cars, brake early and don't be a psycho on the accelerator, and you do okay. So yeah, I just kind of try to employ that and see how we go. So also thanks to a few tips and tricks from Starkey in practice session earlier.
Indeed. When do we next see you on track, mates? In the GT3s tonight or later in the week?
I'm actually going up to Brisbane tomorrow for the whole week for a wedding, so I won't be making any races this week, unfortunately. I'll have to focus on next Monday.
Brooksy, that's a hell of a party. That's a hell of a lot of booze required for 6 days for a one-day wedding. Well,
I'm 6'7", so it's a lot to put away. I've got to, fill it up, mate.
That's fair. Well, I was going to say, Brisbane's only a hop, skip and a jump from where I am in Ipswich, mate. So bring your brolly with you is the only advice I can give you at the moment.
Yeah, so I hear. I only just moved from Ipswich down to Adelaide about 2 months ago, so it'll be nice to go back home and see everyone. Indeed,
mate. And as I say, yeah, the rain held off enough for us to get our local motorsport and sport in over the weekend, and that's all we can ask for. And now we've been dealt with a deluge from great heights. So the washing will have to wait until another day. Hey, good on you, mate. Safe travels. Enjoy the wedding. Go well.
All right, thanks, Zach.
And Starkey, looking forward to catching up with you later in the week as well, no doubt.
Yeah, I might try and do something. I go back to work Wednesday, and I'm on all week. I'm going to get most of the last rounds. I think I'm actually just going to throw a sickie so I get all the rounds. So when my drop rounds come, I'll actually have some rounds to drop. I don't want to drop rounds just zeros. I don't want to feel like I'm cheating. So right.
Yeah. Hang on, that's an interesting way of putting it. You feel like you're cheating by dropping zeros, Starkey. What's that all about, please?
Well, you get to drop your worst round, so I really only have to do 2 more. And I'm untouchable. I think that's unfair. So I think I'll go and give it my hardest to all the tracks, and I'll drop the worst of the points. And if that's a bunch of wins more, then that's 60 points I'll be dropping. So, yeah, look, the boys, Adam Bryan, he kept us honest tonight. He was fast. And to be fair, Brooksy could have got me. He really could have. I think he more let off a little bit early just so I'd get the win. Because my set went off really fast. And I actually changed my strategy this week. I didn't run long. I pitted halfway.
Indeed.
6.7. Hope he doesn't come to stay with me. I have to buy a bigger bed.
I'm not going to touch that with the barge pole, but what I'm going to say is we'll be showing another Super 3 race, no doubt, closer to the end of the campaign. So looking forward to that. Well done, Starkey. Go and enjoy the success of victory, mate. Well done.
Thanks, boys, and well done to the Super 2 podium. I'm just watching the broadcast. Looks pretty exciting. Go on, please.
It's been spicy. I don't know that about that. Thank you, mate. Go well. Okay, Connor Nixon.
Hello.
Straight to you because, let's face it, this is the big story of the night.
Yeah. I thought it would be.
What the hell happened there, please? Here it is
yeah,
again for everybody at home. Riding on board with Mikey and now riding on board with Connor. Watch this. Oh dear.
In the cockpit, it felt like he braked early. I brake at the latest marker, and he braked about 100 to 50 meters early, so I tried to dive up the inside. It probably doesn't look like that, but hey, I'm going to keep with it. So, yeah, it is what it is. I guess I was just coming through the field, and it's just, I mean, it was a pretty shocking night overall, so hey, 10 second, we'll just pop that on top as well. I'll go and speak to race control and just say, nothing intentional, of course, and just move on, I guess.
Look, I'm gonna suggest that given that Mikey parked up and retired after that, I reckon you got off lightly with 10 seconds. However, not that I normally pass comment on racing incidents. However, yes,
it's me, so you can. So that's
it was
fine.
fairly savage. Yeah. I'm just having a look at what 10 seconds does for you, though, mate. That's going to slot you down into 7th. Yeah, behind Jason Briggs. So, I mean,
it's pending though the penalty. It might not be then after the results, but we'll see.
True, not ideal, but if it is 7th,
so same as Monza.
At least it's still a good haul of points.
Yeah. I mean, a podium's always nice. I mean, it was just a shocking night. I didn't expect the track to be so hot. I was a bit like, it's, it said like 25 degrees, and I was like, oh, that's not too bad. Then it said on my overlays 54 degrees, and I went, whoa, that's a bit hot. So the set was all over the joint. The thing would understeer at the start of the corner, then slide on exit. So it was a enjoyable ride, just hold on to the thing and pray, really.
Now, at the risk of opening the can of worms that doesn't need to be opened, because
go on, Zach, do it.
Your other sparring partner is still with us in the broadcast booth at the moment. What is it about you on picking on blokes that are older than you?
Have I hit anyone since Kirby, though?
Yeah, but that's the point.
Tonight. We just saw it.
Kirby's older than you. Haven't for a couple of years, not you?
Yeah, it's only in gents that I hit people, so it must be a curse, honestly. But no, I normally try and not hit at people, but yeah, it was just a bit awkward. But
yeah,
mate, I'm reporting you for elder abuse.
Oh no, right? You might as well.
Also, I mean, to a point, I can see where part of that's also tripped up as well. David Kirby, you saw the onboard shot, I saw it as well. The real, I want to ask you about your battle with William Reston in a moment, but Kirby, going back to you, when you look at that, I mean, we can sit here and spar with our good mate as much as we like, but at the end of the day, there was some movement from both Hammond to the left and Connor to the right, just as you're getting to that braking area. So, I mean, the whole set of circumstances weren't ideal leading up to it, and the contact, unfortunately, at that speed was never going to be anything but ugly.
Oh, look, 100%. Look, you got to also factor in the high track temp. Tyres were probably shot by that bit. I don't know if that was on the first stint or the second. But, you got to look at, like you said, it's a high speed braking area. Into a fast-flowing turn one. So if you're not on it and on the right spot, you know, maybe Hamo sort of brake a little bit early, doesn't trust the tyres under him, which is understandable. Where, you know, the guy behind you, you know, has that confidence under them and stuff like that. You know, it's not a fixed setup race; it's open setup, so different things can play into the cards there. At the end of the day, look, what happened to me last week. I unfortunately bumped Mark off. A similar situation in the middle of corners and stuff like that, where the car in front of him checked up, he checked up, I didn't catch it, I bumped him. Same situation, penalty for me. So, it's a tricky one, but you know, the number one rule of thumb, even on the road in real life, mate, you can't hit the car in front of you. It's simple as that. So, but look, it is what it is. You play on and you play to the referee's whistle, and you move on from it.
At least in a real world car, you've got a horn that you can blast the people in front with. That's the.
People don't listen to that though. They're deaf
no.
and blind.
Yep, and stupid.
Geez, that car looks good.
Yes.
I was going to say, it does look good, actually.
It does look certainly a lot cleaner than yours, Connor. But it helps.
Thanks, Zach. Appreciate it.
But it helps that he was a minute and a half late getting out on the track.
Yeah.
He only saw about 3 cars all night, did David Kirby?
That's 2 of them.
Exactly. Yeah.
At least you saw something. That's you know.
It took me 20 minutes to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Connor, even though you're going to lose, obviously, out to Tyson and Angus and Jason, and I'm going to get to Angus in just a moment, and Kurt as well. The reality of the matter is, you had a good little scrap there with Liam Reston for a couple of laps. He kept you honest.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he did actually. At the end, I was kind of just getting hunted by my teammate, then had Reston on my behind. So it was. Reston definitely kept me there, and he hasn't lost speed over the years though. Old Reston, he's been around for a while. So he's quick. He's definitely quick. Be good to see him more in the car, but obviously we know the car's a bit of a specialty, and Gen 3's coming out, so probably just waiting for that now.
Connor, constitute what you mean by a while, please. Like clarify, because I
think it's November.
I need a number.
Oh, it's like, what was the date, Kirby? You've seen it. I know you've seen it. It's like November. Oh, he's deafening himself.
Oh, sorry. What was that?
I said, when's Gen 3 coming out? It's like November, December.
No, I wasn't asking about Gen 3. I'm going to get to that in a moment. I'm saying define, because you said Liam Reston's been around for a while. What do you mean by a while? Put a time number on it for me.
Well, he was racing before I was, so what?
That's all I wanted to know. That's what I was hoping.
Yeah. Well, I'm a spring chicken in this club.
Is what you mean?
So you're picking on the elders again, are you?
I know. Hey,
it's going well.
Maybe there should be a Facebook group being put up. You know, something about kind of hitting old people. But no, I don't know. It's unfortunate. Mikey and I have always gotten together, even when I started at the club when Pixel Racing. That's going back. So yeah.
I did say in the commentary that it's just that Mikey has had a rivalry with several members in the club in the past.
Indeed, he has.
Another verse in the Connor Nixon chapter that you've written tonight.
It's not really good to put me around people.
Not at all. No, not at all. Hey,
I've been doing too much. You're a bit nice though, Angus, so it's okay.
Listen, I've got to move around the room here and talk to Angus and Kurt. So quickly, last comment from both David and Connor. You elaborated on it a moment ago inadvertently. Gen 3, the Bend and Adelaide Parklands, all coming to iRacing. Gen 3 sooner than everything else, but by gee, there's excitement in Australian motorsport circles right now.
100%. Yeah, look, 100%. It's I think it's. Look, I'm a bit on the. I'm kind of on the water on it about it. You know, if it's the same as real life, it's going to be kind of. But you know, but if it's good, I hope it's good. You know, like the dirty end, this car is pretty disgusting when you're close. So if it gets rid of that and the tires kind of similar or better, it should be really good. And Sam Sutton and Blacklock are coming back to Drop Bear, which are ex-Altus drivers. So Drop Bear should be pretty strong when Gen 3 comes out, so look if it's good.
Sam's too short to be racing.
I know, right? He's flying planes now, the small little bugger. Yep. But no, that's Blacklock. That's Sutton's driving GTPs these days. But yeah, look, if those two come back, Drop Bear should be really strong, and I think old Yeaman should be in the car too. So yeah, look, if it's good, I think Drop Bear will definitely get on it, and yeah. But I'm doing a lot of American racing these days, so maybe I'll just go full American at that point. So who knows?
Make Australia great again. See you, bye.
I know, right? Thanks, Kevin. I'm gonna go on that, you know.
You're all good. Gen 3, December, I think.
Okay.
And I think it's penciled in around season 1 of 2025. So looking forward to it. Obviously, they've been there this week, and then hopefully back in November to do the Adelaide Street circuit. So that'll be super good in the future.
All right. Thank you, boys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mark.
Out of here. You're off the hook.
I won't say anything. I won't say anything this week, Zach. I'll be nice. All right, goodbye. On the last broadcast, I said something weird. All right, bye.
You usually do.
I know.
Thank you,
My
Connor.
specialty. See you. Bye.
Jeez. Madness. What a lunatic. Now, just madness tonight. Great racing. Angus Lawford and Gerd Nomanson are here. Angus, started 4th, finished 6th, mate. It wasn't a straightforward night. You had to work for it.
Yeah, definitely. I nailed the start, and I was really pleased with that, but I just, couldn't keep the tyres in that optimal range for long enough for me to be comfortable, so I'm really happy to be even top 6, so, and yeah, if that penalty comes through, it'll be top 5, so that'd be even better, but still sucks to hear that there was commotion behind and as the cause of that.
Talk to me about the fact that, well, you were the 3rd forward home. Liam Reston back on the grid, and as kind of said, he's lost nothing. He's still, got plenty to bring to the table. And you had to work hard at the very end there to hold off Jason Spriggs. Everyone's talking about tyre temperature and tyre wear as a result of track temperature. You got to play with the cards you dealt by.
Yeah, definitely. I've raced Spriggs for long enough. I stuffed up last season by accidentally taking him out when I missed a braking marker. So other than that situation, I've always raced really good around Spriggs, so I'm always confident to battle with him. And I felt I had a little more pace. I just started getting too excited that it was the final lap and started making stuff ups, which brought him straight on the rear end, and I was like, oh no.
Oh dear. Talk us through the fact that half the field stopped on lap. Half the field was, caught up in when to pit. There were different varying strategies here. The bulk of the field, by the looks of it, the majority was lap 9, including yourself. Where were we at that point? Was that a decision to just try to split it down the middle because of the tyre wear and the issues that you're having there?
If anything, my decision to pit was a reaction mainly on Tyson Broad in front of me, because I was thinking about going long, but then I seen a few other people that were up battling with us pit a few laps prior. So then it was more of a decision of trying to figure out what's going on with the guys in front of me, and as soon as I seen Tyson Broad pulling in, I figured, well, might as well stick with him and try and get it. And on exit, I ended up side by side with Spriggs, and I figured that was probably a good choice that I came in then, because I probably would have dropped a little bit further back if I had tried to do the long run.
Thoughts on what I was just asking the boys about the new Australian content that's on its way?
I am very keen for it and excited. So it should be pretty good. I've gone through a whole lot of settings changes this week. So trying to get myself acclimated for it just so it'll be a bit easier and smoother in the newer cars. Definitely struggled a little bit this week, and definitely didn't have the greatest last 2 weeks with being in incidents, but still consistently in the top 10, so I'm pretty happy with it. And the new cars coming along, I just hope I can take that extra step across and implement what I've been able to do here into the new car.
All right, mate. Very nicely done. Next week, Fuji. Thoughts on that?
I'm looking forward to it. I've done some laps, like I think it was a month ago or something like that, and the car felt really good around there. So hopefully I can get back in the groove and find the lap times that I was doing back then, and hopefully it should be in for a good race and see where it puts me amongst everyone and go from there.
All right, mate. Thank you very much for stopping in and having a chat with us. No doubt enjoying a little bit of a chuckle with the other banter that's been going on along the way as well. Go well for the rest of the week, and we'll catch you next Monday.
No worries, mate, and thanks to all the sponsors at Project A6, and thanks for the stream. It's been good tonight.
All right, mate. As always, the pleasure is ours. And we wouldn't be able to do it without the great support of the people scrolling across the top and bottom of your screen, folks. So a big thanks to them. We'll give them another nod in just a few moments' time. There he is, Angus Lawford. Kurt Nomenson, give us the brief of your night, please. How'd you end up in Super 3?
Not my best run. I got taken out on lap 1 trying to dodge an accident, so it was more a recovery drive. Still ended up, I think, about 17th, 18th, so not too bad at the end of things after going to, I think it was pretty well dead last. So, yeah, I'm not too upset with ending up P18 after that.
It's tough. I mean, there's the updated championship standings too for you, by the way, folks. Hobbo now out, almost unassailable, really. 81 points to the good on Connor Nixon, Angus Lawford, 259. That's getting really spicy, that battle for second, just quietly. Have a look at that, only 7 points. Then back to Jason Spriggs and David Kirby. That unfortunately has hurt Kirby a little bit tonight, 219, 218. Tim Nickel, 197, 10 clear of Aidan Kale, who is coming on strong leaps and bounds in the closing stages of this championship. Alex Court, 184, also hurt by tonight's result, and Trent Allen with Kurt Chapman making up the top 10. Kurt, it's always hard in a 25-minute race when you make a mistake early in the piece or late in the piece to undo that, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think I was half a lap behind by the end of the first lap. It was just, like you can't make that back in 25 minutes.
No. 81 points. Sorry, 88 points is the margin at the moment in Super 3. That's Stark to Spencer, then Cuthbertson on 205, so they're all really well spread out at the moment, the top three. Dale Jeffries and Aidan Schultz within striking distance of Cuthbertson and on 191 and 190 respectively, the battle for fourth. 181 for Tim Fuge, 180 for David Lawler, Phil Butler 179, 176 for Shane Newans, and also Kurt Nomenson, 168 points make up the top 10. As you say, 18th tonight, not the best result. But still time to work on that, mate, and press forward in the final few rounds of the season. Thoughts on Fuji and thoughts on, all that content that's dropping over the next short while. And when I say short while, I mean a couple of years, because Adelaide's not going to scan itself and then be straight on the server at the end of this year. They're only going to scan it in November. So we're still a while away from that. And everyone seemed to have forgotten about Pukekohe on it, being on its way as well.
Yeah, I'm excited for Pukekohe and probably the Bend when they release with Gen 3 and Adelaide coming up probably in next year's release if they get it done quick enough. But no, it should be fun. Looking forward to the Gen 3 cars, changing things up, and going to be a very different driving style with those cars with all the adjustments taken out of the car. Indeed.
What's next for you, please? Lining up in GT3?
Yes, I've just finished my qualifying laps for GT3, so not doing too bad in GT3 tonight. Hopefully I don't get taken out.
Well, let's hope so, mate. Check back in and report with us afterwards, please.
Yep, no worries, mate.
All right, brilliant. There is Kurt Nomenson. Very well done. And speaking of GT3, we're off to Imola for that tonight. There's a couple of trips to Italy this week, just as there was last week. We're off to Mugello on Thursday night for the Porsches. But tonight, it is Imola for GT3 Pro. We'll bring you that action very shortly. In the meantime, on the way to a quick break, a big thanks to all of the people who make it possible for us to do what we do here on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. They include Bright Insider, Waste Options, Merch, TGSRC.inc, merch.tgsrci.com, Orbic Australia, Lobesy Racing, M-Wave Australia, and Flash Graphics. A break and back Monday Night Motorsports. Night one of week 6 in term 3, the main course of this first post-Olympic night. On the other side of this short break, don't go away. Monday Night Motorsport on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, continuing for you live and free across the platforms of Twitch, Facebook and YouTube, and it's exclusive as well. We're off to Emilia-Romagna in Italy now for the main course of week 6 Monday Night Motorsport action for you with Waste Options GT3. We're back bringing you the pro split this week as we start the second half of the campaign, and Matty Dench has taken yet another pole position here, it would seem, just ahead of Liam Reston. The most exciting thing is that there are 5 different manufacturers in the top 10 and 5 in the top 6. There are 2 BMWs in the top 5 tonight. That's exciting as well. Outside, you've got Lamborghini. You've also got... No, I don't think that's it. I'm pretty sure there's no Mercedes. There's no McLaren. Yeah, very good. Let's have a look. 9:43 in the morning server time here as qualifying wraps up. We'll bring you the grid in just a few moments' time. 9 km an hour wind, 60% humidity, 28 degrees the ambient, the on-track temperature rather, and 26 the ambient, partly cloudy conditions. There could be some rain on the way tonight. We'll wait and see. It does look very gloomy overhead. 4.86 kilometers this circuit. It is the full length version of the Emilia-Romagna course. Of course, they don't have any alternative configurations around here like we do on other circuits that we go racing at. Championship standings coming into this round as the cars get ready to line up on the grid here. Matty Dench, 320, plays Rain Campbell, 249, 185 for Nick Wood, 184 for Ben Woods, and Eli Donaldson, 171, just 1 point clear of Richard Mitchum. Jared Knight, 163, 158 for Chuk Fung Wong, 154 for Damien Cairns, and 129 for Fred Carr, making up the top 10. Now, all of that thought about rain has just disappeared because you can see the sun beating down on the circuit right now. 27 degrees the ambient, 39 the on-track temperature, 55% humidity, cloudy conditions. Winds in a mostly northwesterly direction at 11 kilometers an hour, and we're at 3 o'clock in the afternoon with the clock moving twice as fast as it would in the real world. Matty Dench, Liam Rest in the front row, Ben Wood, Sprint and Hops in the second row. Have a look at Hobbo up there very nicely. Aiden Luthwaite, Aaron Cooper the third row, Jackson DL, Rain Campbell the fourth row, Jonathan Hooper, Eli Donaldson the fifth row. Back we go to Jackson Ray Harner in the Lambo. Yes, there's a Lambo on the grid. You beauty. On the sixth row alongside Nick Wood. The Ferrari of Thomas Foster. I knew I was missing one. Ferrari of Thomas Foster. The seventh row with Colby Callum, Chuk Fung Wong and Damien Cairns. The eighth row, Jake Jackson, David Johnson. The ninth row, Dimitri Agathos back on the grid alongside David Bernays from row 10. Fred Card and William Yarwood from 11 in the Whiskey Business Racing lockout of row 11. Dave Riddell and Russ Green, Ryan Mulder and Andrew Neal make up the next two rows. And Cody Deeth bringing the charge through from the rear of the grid like he did at the Nürburgring. That'll be good fun. Making up the field. Row 14 inside. 27 cars on the grid tonight. 7 manufacturers. No Mercedes, no McLaren. But we do have Lamborghini. We do have BMW, Audi, Ferrari. We also have Porsche. We also have Chevrolet. And we have Ford. And there are 6 of those inside the top. What is that? 11 positions in this field. 5 different manufacturers in the top 10. 2 BMWs. 3 Porsches. 3 Audis. A Ford and a Chev. Matthew Denchley and Reston, Ben Woods, Brenton Hobson, and Aidan Luthwaite. Aaron Cooper. They're all in formation now, ready to rock and roll. Dench and Reston, Woods and Hobson. Dench looking for title number 11 in GT3 as he goes out also in pursuit of title number 10 in the Porsche Cup. Now, on that subject, actually, we've had some issues in the last couple of weeks on Thursday Night Motorsport. We weren't with you last week on the Thursday night because we were down a producer in terms of Dan Carrier was unavailable due to family commitments, and Josh Dino was unwell. So we had no ability to broadcast the race to you last week. We'll hopefully be back on deck this Thursday night for round 6 of those two championships, LFP2 and the Porsche Cup. In the meantime, Matty Dench and Liam Reston to bring the field to green to get this latest 60-minute enduro of Waste Options GT3 underway. We're ready to rock and roll from the Emilia-Romagna circuit. 27 of the best about to go to work on a Monday night. Foot to the floor, let's go racing. Dench leads the field to green and away and cleanly to the first corner. Hobson already under pressure. Aaron Cooper on the outside. Ryan Campbell's in there as well, trying to get by Aaron Cooper, and does so. Hobbo's getting muscled out of this potentially. No, he slots into fourth. He keeps Ryan Campbell at bay. Campbell up 3 spots up the start. Now loses out to Aaron Cooper. They're side by side on the run down to Villeneuve. Clean start. That's more than we could ask for. Side by side, Aidan Luthwaite and Ryan Campbell arguing over the same piece of the real estate, and Luthwaite holds sway for now. Luthwaite just says, "Excuse me, sir, I'm coming through. Get out of the road." DeGale and Wood and Donaldson make up the top 10. Hooper is 11th and 12th is Ray Hana. Cairns and Cowham and Foster and Fung Wong. The next few through. Colby Cowham driving a Ford Mustang in the 13th place at the moment behind Jackson Rayhana. Good to see Rayhana back on the grid as well. Fresh off the holiday and no doubt happy to be back in some sort of rhythm, making up for lost time with the sim rig. Clean start, Dench out by 0.7 to Reston. Woods is third. Yep, making up for lost time there indeed is Jackson Rayhana. We know that he loves his sim racing. Bit hard to take the rig over to New Zealand for holidays recently. Now have a look at him up on the outside here. It'll put him on the inside for the chicane if he can get the job done alongside, side by side with Jonathan Hooper now. Job done for the Lambo. Arena. Dench the fastest lap of the race, 1:43.012. Expect times to whittle down as the opening few laps unfold here. Then we'll find a steady, moderate tempo sort of pace. That's Hooper being boxed out of it there, and up on the outside, capitalising on that is Damien Cairns in that very distinctly green car that you see there, the Corvette. And he makes Hooper pay the price for the mistake and for finding that. Oh, geez, they forced the issue. Hooper and Cairns. That's a bit too close for comfort for lap 2. Cairns now consolidates and makes Hooper pay the price for that earlier off-track excursion. Immediately under pressure. Again, though. Adam Lavis, you've done a bit of racing here before. Oh, here we go. Congratulations, we've won a cash prize. Jeez, I think we'd all be happy with some cash right about now. Off you go. Thanks for coming. 3 minutes 15 gone. And there's Hooper. Oh, under pressure here. Hooper. And Cody Deeth. Cody Deeth on a mission. Oh, geez. Round goes Rayhana. The Lambo's pointing in the wrong direction. Deeth and Cairns had to take evasive action. Up on the outside, there comes Colby Callum as well. And Ray Harner's going to drop to the bottom of the field. That's ridiculous. It's the 4th or 5th time this season that Ray Harner's made a mistake on his own accord. It goes Colby Callum. At turn 2, the Mustangs had a moment. And in all of this, Cody Deeth is up 15 spots. We saw what this guy brings to the table a couple of weeks ago in GT3. We saw Matty Dench work for it. We know how well credentialed this bloke is. And tonight, he's looking to do another burn from the stern and challenge with the contenders at the pointy end of town. Where were we a couple of weeks ago? The Nürburgring. Magnificent. Well done. Well done, Cody Deeth. Gets by Damien Cairns, as though Cairns is sitting still, and that's... I mean, Damien Cairns is no slouch in this caper. We know what he does in a supercar, and he's been going okay in the GT3 as well. Deeth is just breezing through the field here. This is Fred Carr getting sent at 1. Oh, twitchy foot into him. Yeah. That's a very good looking paint scheme on that car of his from Whiskey Business. This was Ray Harner. Watch everybody. Oh. They were dead set lucky that they didn't take any more of that AstroTurf and Ripple Strip area. And Colby Callum, did he get some help? Oh yeah, you better believe it. He got 2 times help. Dench leads by half a second to Reston. They've gapped Woods, and Hobson has got Cooper and Campbell and Luthwaite breathing down his neck. There they are. We pick up Hobbo on screen now for Synergy Sim Racing. Jeez. I was just about to invite Adam Lavis into the conversation here, so I had a chance to catch my breath, and then all that hell broke loose. Adam, this is a circuit where overtaking opportunities aren't, all that freely available. Jackson Dial now off the road for Whiskey Business, and also Chuk Fung Wong. So these guys have, if they're going to make a move tonight, as we've already seen in the form of Cody Deeth, who's up to 9th, already up 18 spots, you've either got to rely on cars running wide, putting it off the road, or, getting the elbows out and being a bit forceful about it.
There's a couple of spots you can try and set up. You just got to get yourself close enough to get in their mirrors and get them off their line a little bit, and get a run either down into the Villeneuve chicane, I think it is, or sometimes if you get lucky, you get up the hill into the other tight chicane. But the main run is through here. If you get these 2 double lefts right, and get the big slipstream drag strip down the front straight, and get that move in the turn 1 and 2, that's the best spot on the track to get the moves done.
Apparently, and I didn't see it because I don't see all the comments that come through on YouTube. I've had Craig up me for the rent in the break about a comment that he left on our YouTube feed, and whether I was not that one, whether I was going to answer the question or not. I will try and find that. I'll see if Adam Lavis can find that comment for us, and we'll come back to you, mate. I must admit, with everything that's going on in here from time to time, I don't always get to see all the comments that pop up on our broadcast. Eight minutes gone of a 1 hour or 60-minute affair here on the platforms of the GSRC. And as far as the 60-minute races are concerned, we've had... we haven't had too many of them in the form of this season so far. This is only the second one. The first one was Nürburgring. We've had sprint racing in 90% affairs in the other 5 weeks. So we're now heading into a stretch where we've got 3 60-minute races in the space of 4 weeks. Round 6, round 7, round 9. Road America next week, that's always a favourite. We'll be up and about on a Monday night for that. Portimao in round 9. Round 8 is the Hockenheim Ring, and round 10, of course, the 90-minute race from the Fuji International Speedway, the Enduro, over 90 minutes to finish us off and finish off the campaign. Have a look at this bottleneck, this snake of cars, this log jam that Hobbo is contending with at the moment. Four different manufacturers on screen at the moment. You've got the Ferrari, the Ford of Hobbo, the Porsche of Aaron Cooper, the Audi of Ryan Campbell, and the BMW of Aidan Luthwaite. This was Eli Donaldson. Oh, geez. So that was the Whiskey Business entry that's had a moment at the top of the hill of... Oh, geez, I couldn't quite tell you who it was, to be honest. Jackson Dial, we're being told. Oh, he was already on the way there. And he's just had a little bit of assistance to finish it off. Absolutely nothing the oncomers could have... Oh, no! Absolutely nothing the onlookers could have done about that. And Dial did everything right there in the terms of holding his brakes and not moving, just to let everybody come through that corner. It is a little bit of a blind spot, but he has been collected on the way through. So that's Jake Jackson on the tow rope because of the contact that he's made there. Jackson Dial has parked up for the night. He's out of business and done. Jake Jackson may as well park up, and we go back live with Brenton Hobson. Jonathan Hooper with an early pit stop has come back out in 25th place, down 16 spots. Colby Callum after his spin. Jackson Rayhana after his spin. 24th and 22nd respectively. Andrew Niels reached in between those two blokes at the moment. There are battle packs everywhere, but there's also been our first big one of the night. Oh, Jackson Dial and Jake Jackson getting caught up in that. So Dial had a moment. He got tapped to finish the job off, and then he got clipped a couple of times and then poleaxed. Absolutely poleaxed. Now you gotta love the weather app on your phone, don't you? 90% chance of rain tomorrow in Ripley. Well, I'm not going to Ripley tomorrow. It's a suburb over from Raceview, but I'm in Raceview. And the amount of times this thing says, oh, rain expected to stop soon, it hasn't even started. I don't know what they're smoking at Google, quite frankly. Craig sent me a snap, and I dare say it'll be the question that he was going to ask. So let me have a look at this and read it out. Yeah, we were covering this off. With regards to getting the boys in the supercars comments on it as well, because it directly impacts them. Craig was asking the question about what I think of what's coming in Season 4 and potentially next year and what's coming and what I'd like to see. I think I know that there's a couple of other manufacturers in both TCR and also GT3 racing that aren't yet in iRacing service. In terms of circuits, there were murmurs about Sydney Motorsport Park well before the Adelaide Parkland, so I'd really like to see that. And then Dave Oliver, good evening to you. He's not in the server. He's trying to watch on the phone at the moment. That's interesting. Thank you, mate. Back we go to Hobson, 4th at the moment, under pressure here. Have a look at him lining up for a crack at Hobbo. That's Aaron Cooper to the inside. Hobbo will relent. He won't force the issue. He'll release Cooper. And it's become a battle in 5 because Cody Deeth has caught them. 1:42.831 for Deeth. Magnificent lap time from Deeth. What's interesting here is whether it's one stop or two. Oh, Deeth's had a moment. Deeth's in the gravel. Deeth has flipped it around at the right-hander on the exit of Villeneuve on the run up to the hairpin. After setting the fastest lap, Deeth has dropped out of the 10. This is how. Oh. Gonna need to ride on board with him, Adam Lavis, to get a better look at that. Did he tap the car in front of Aidan Luthwaite? Did that unsettle him? What's going on here? Oh. Luthwaite had a bobble, and Deeth checked up, and it flicked him around. It looped him. Unfortunate. So in all of that, Cooper has been released. Hobbo didn't want to, force the issue too much. He was happy to yield and let Cooper go. Ryan Campbell's moved up to 6th. Hayden Luthwaite to 7th. Now we know that Cody Deeth is back in 11th. With a bit of a point to prove, just quietly. Trying to get back through the field now. Hey, that really does help out Matty Dench. Really does help out Matty Dench, who we pick up on screen now. Being pursued and hounded by the BMW of Liam Reston. Going back to answer Craig's question before I forget about it. Look, I think it's great that they are catering to their market on a global scale, mate. There's been a lot of talk about iRacing and supercars for a long while now. I think from a personal standpoint, I'd love to see the Hyundai Excel on here because I love calling their racing in the real world, as most people know. I think now that Quinning's upgraded the racetrack out here in Willowbank to make it look a little bit more respectable on the international stage, I think they'd be silly not to get in on this as well. I was a little bit surprised when we heard about iRacing going to the Bend and the Adelaide Parklands that they wouldn't just tick off Malala while they were there. There's that much potential, and you're never going to please everybody. So everyone's going to have their own idea on what they would like to see. Really, there are no limits. Like, there's always new content in motorsport. There's always new circuits popping up. But yeah, I think Sydney Motorsport Park, QR, from an Australian standpoint, I think that'd just about finish us off. The Gen 3 car, there's a lot of people that'll be interested to see if that's as rubbish as it is in the real world. But we're stuck with it now, aren't we? So, and I think that just increases the realism of the experience now, because obviously everybody in the real world stepping up into that next gen car. So for the sim races to be on par with that, there'll be that nice correlation as well. Is Hobbo still under pressure from Ryan Campbell and Hayden Luthwaite? Adam Lavis, what did you think when you saw the news? The Bend had been rumoured for a while, as has SMP. Nothing official on that yet, though. But I think Adelaide caught everyone by surprise in a good way.
I think there was enough talk when they did sort of drop the hints about the Bend. The amount of kickback about doing Adelaide Parklands when they were there, obviously enough voices were heard, so they've decided to go there, and that's going to be good, because it is I think, as much as Malala is probably going to be a fun little track, it is not really that well known internationally, so it'd be hard for the iRacing guys to know anything about it. Whereas the Parklands track is a Formula GP track, so that would be like a little bit of an incentive for them to go there and get that one scanned up.
Yeah, and don't worry, Craig, as soon as I saw your comment there, I thought you won't be the only one that mentions one raceway in Goulburn because they've reinvented the wheel now, and there's now 2 configurations there, clockwise and anti-clockwise, and that's a selling point as well. But I think Adam's point with regards to Malala is still valid with regards to one as well, in terms of not being as known on the global scale. And supercars aren't racing back there anytime soon. They'd rather go and build a temporary street circuit. So 7.5 minutes gone here. Got a question with regards to what we do here on the platforms, the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club. Oh, geez, that was a very nice move from Ryan Campbell on Brenton Hobson. Hobbo's lost 2 spots here, defending for dear life, but these guys are just finding a way. Hobbo in the Mustang. Now under pressure from Hayden Luthwaite in the BMW. Nick Wood is 8th, fending off Cody Deeth, fending off Eli Donaldson, fending off Damien Cairns, and Thomas Foster well back behind David Johnson. With David Johnson behind him. Got caught out by my own sentence structure there. So one thing for you, Craig, because I appreciate that you're now sending me these questions on Snapchat so that I do see them if I don't catch them on our screen here. if there is a big enough crash and the track's blocked, our race control will manually throw the iRacing safety car. We don't have a manual safety car that we throw out there onto the circuit or anything like that at the moment. However, iRacing haven't invented, and this is the one thing I'd like to see, iRacing have not introduced red flags yet. iRacing haven't got the red flags, unlike Formula One, although that being said, the requirements for a red flag on Formula 1 23 are a little bit silly, but that's okay. Here's Luthwaite putting pressure on Hobson. It's interesting, isn't it, Adam? I mean, we look at what iRacing have been doing in recent times. The evidence of the growth and the success of the formula is the uptake of Mustang GT3 cars. So Hobbo in 6th place at the moment, the best place for the Mustangs. The next is Chuk Fung Wong. Oh no, he's just been relegated to 7th. So Luthwaite has got through on Hobson, and Deeth has got through on Wood. Deeth is back up to where he was just before he went off the road a few moments ago. 142.550, Nick Wood back in 9th now. Eli Donaldson makes up the top 10. Pit stops are underway. We've already had Dimitri Agathos pit on lap 10, Colby Callum on 8, and Jonathan Hooper on 4. Both Jackson Dial and Jake Jackson are parked up for the night. Their night is done. We've got Matty Dench leading the way. We're on lap 12. We're at the 20-minute mark of the race, 1/3 race distance. So I was wondering where we were going in terms of laps tonight. It's somewhere in the low to mid 30s once we take pit stops into consideration. Whether we get one pit stop or two, I'm not sure. I think, it'll be interesting. It'll go either way there, one or two, especially for those guys that pitted way back on lap 4. Hello, Jonathan Hooper. I think you're due a second pit stop in this. There's David Johnson, 13th at the moment, under pressure from from trying to put the pressure on Thomas Foster. Foster in front, Johnson in behind, and William Yarwood is behind Chuk Fung Wong, but under pressure from David Bernays and Fred Kahn. 25 of our 27 starters still running. Interesting times. iRacing haven't got to the red flag, but one thing I would actually like to address with regards to real-world motorsport is a gripe I've got with the United States. How can you intentionally spin and wreck two cars in the space of, 150 metres and retain a win? I'm talking about NASCAR, and I'm talking about this morning, I'm talking about Richmond. If you haven't seen it on your socials, go and have a look at it. Just, something about intent and something about NASCAR, thriving on that for their entertainment and their fan engagement and whatever else. But, it was intentional and deliberate and insipid. So I don't know. I don't like it. If that was Australian motorsport, the book would have got thrown at him this morning. But yeah, America just keep doing their own thing as per usual, like the medal table with the Olympics counting the overall. David Bernays down the inside. And David Johnson and Thomas Foster in here as well. So it's got interesting all of a sudden. Bernays under pressure from Yarwood and Kahn and Dave Riddell not too far away. Four-way fight. David Bernays, 14th. Hobbo has dropped to 11th. This is how. Contact with Cody Deeth. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Hobbo into the wall in contact with Cody Deeth. So Cody Deeth, in having made a rod for his own back and trying to, rectify the invoice that he copped with the spin earlier in the piece, has ended up in more trouble. Aidan Luthwaite to pit lane. Oh, jeez. Adam, your thoughts on all of that?
It was a bit like it would have been very tricky to get through there side by side, especially on the outside when he was only up to the rear quarter. So it's probably a little optimistic from Cody, but he's probably raced Hobbo before. He would probably know roughly how each other race. So he might have thought maybe he could get up the inside there of Hobbo, but there's a very one-lane groove to that chicane, so it's always going to be very tricky to pull it off.
it's interesting. I just went to the NASCAR website, Austin Dillon, after the race this morning. I hate it, but I had to do it. And that's the problem. Deliberate intent. There's no way that they'd let you away with that in Australian motorsport. So, yeah, I'm not like I'm all for the spectacle and the fanfare and the drama of NASCAR, but I did not like that in any way, shape, or form when I saw it this morning. It's not the difference is like I can sit there and we can have a map of a plan of attack with who have got to rub out a contention in a Formula One online race on the PlayStation, but we're playing AI. They're in the real world and they're playing with expensive race cars, people's careers. It's a completely different prospect. Reston, Woods, Cooper, Campbell all on the pit road at the end of lap 14. And so too Cody Death and Nick Wood. So too Eli Donaldson, Damien Cairns. This seems to be the critical number for a lot of our drivers, which would suggest that it's a two-stopper tonight. The 25-minute fuel tank burn has been gone, come and went. Matthew Dench, the only one to go to 15, but that does not seem to be a surprise to anyone here in the commentary box because that's what Dench does. The next 14 cars are all on pit road, and Andrew Neil will most likely join them when he gets around to the start-finish line area to that pit entry. Everybody else has been in either lap 13, 12, 8, or 4, or 10. And Jackson Dowell and Jake Jackson are out of the business. So pit lane just got really busy at the end of lap 14. Cody Death came out inside. Wow, inside the car of Nick Wood. Down the inside. Whoa, more drama potentially there. They did well to not end up making more contact. Death rather forceful. Wood awake to it and alert. Dench, Reston, Woods, Luthwaite, Cooper and Campbell the top 6 at the moment. Extraordinary drama here at the Imola circuit already tonight. Denchi comes in and stops. Is he going long or is he going short with his fuel here? That will tell us everything we need to know with regards to his plan of attack for the rest of the night. If it's a short stop, it's going to be a short second stint and a long third stint. Deep down the inside of Wood and back to 8th. 7th, I should say. Uh-oh, trouble. William Yarwood's in the wall. I think the beamer's gone in, and there's a little bit of panel damage there. We'll have a look. To the top of the hill. Did the rear go in and clip the tyre bundle? Oh, the front went in and turned him around. So the Whiskey Business Racing entry has ended up dropping a bunch of spots very soon after the pit stop. Aaron Cooper still in 5th spot, being chased by Ryan Campbell. Hobo, after getting caught up with Cody Death, has come out in 15th, 16th spot in fact. And we're on lap 16. Case of what might have been for Hobo. The big events continue, of course, this week. Still waiting for Formula One to come back, but we're very excited about the return of the English Premier League on the international scale, on the international stage. Of course, NASCAR and IndyCar not too far away from, the business end of their championship. I mean, NASCAR runs through to early November, but for IndyCar, there's Worldwide Technology Raceway, there's Milwaukee, there's Portland, and also Nashville still to come. So a very oval-centric end of the season with the exception of Portland. So all that's coming up very shortly. Here comes Ryan Campbell in 6th spot, being hounded by Cody Death. Corvette, Chev in the lead. BMW's 2 and 4. Audi's 3, 6 and 9 at the moment. Porsche's 5, 8 and 10. And a Lambo of Cody Deeth in 7th at the moment, up 20 spots. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different manufacturers in the 10 at the moment. And the Ferrari and Mustangs outside in terms of Dimitri Agathos and Chuk Fung Wong. Oh dear. Been very entertaining.
So as for your question, Denchi did still short stop to get a bit of a gap on Liam to get him out of his slipstream.
Gotcha. That was only a 13.6 second stop for Denchi. That gives him 5.5 on rest, and that breaks the toe. You're right. People know that I work on a Monday night, and they still try and ring me. And all this person wanted to know was, am I going to vote in Queensland elections? Jackson Rayhana off the road for the second time tonight and had company as well. Oh, no. That was Fred Kahn off the road a second time. Fred Kahn's parked up out of business. That'll be our third retirement of the night if he doesn't get that fixed and back out onto the track. Fred Kahn out of business after contact with Jackson Rayhana. Oh, jeez. And Colby Callum coming through did well to avoid it. And Kahn just said, you know what, I've had enough. Now, to answer the question that's coming in, yes, I'm going to vote in the Queensland state elections. Yes, I'm going to vote for anyone but the incumbent mob and incompetent mob. And as we hit the 30-minute mark and hit halfway, because I don't want to cop a fine and therefore have to contribute to their Christmas party cause and fun for not voting. So yes, I am going to vote, but I have to pre-poll because I'm not going to be here on election day, which is magnificent because it means that I don't have to deal with all the hoo-ha and, political propaganda and coverage that's rammed down your throat on that day. And all these wankers going on with their, democracy sausage photos. Brilliant move there by Cody Deeth down on the inside of Aaron Cooper to go to 4th. Josh Zuno, no. Just no. Let's not start that crap. You got to vote. You got to be a candidate to be voted for in the first place. That's number one. But there are several problems that I have with that, considering that this was hopefully a one-time only thing for the Olympics. Look at Aiden Luthwaite being forceful. Cody Deeth was trying to go up on the outside, flicks it back, will go up the inside on the run up to the chicane. Now this is where he ran into trouble with Hobbo. Luthwaite was open to it, or aware of it at least. Luthwaite and Deeth is side by side and tucks back in. Oh, such tremendous weight on young shoulders at the moment, and Luthwaite on the defensive still, trying to make Deeth work for it and go the long way round, and Deeth accepts the invitation. Deeth to the outside. Luthwaite forces him out wide. Deeth says, I'm up to the task, and I'll take you around the outside anyway, in what could be one of the moves of the night, moves of the season. Deeth gets by, goes to 3rd. Whatever invoice he's got coming his way at the end of the night, Adam Lavis, I don't care particularly. It's still an impressive drive to this point. Luthwaite forcing the issue back on the inside on the way down to the chicane, and Deeth gets him under brakes. Sweeps across from the outside, swings into 3rd spot, and now goes out in pursuit of Ben Woods, who's 6 seconds up the road. I don't think he's catching Denchi at this point, who is 17 seconds up the road, but stranger things have happened. Josh Duno reliably informing us that there's no invoice for Deeth either. So obviously those two incidents that he's been caught up in, no invoice to pay. Interesting.
Just watching Deeth's driving there compared to the Beamer and the Porsche, he's just making that Lambo look so much lighter and nimble. It seems to be able to get the change of direction done much more efficiently than the other cars around him.
Luthwaite's still under pressure here from Cooper and also Campbell. And Nick Wood as well. A four-way fight for 4th. 5 different manufacturers in the top 5 at the moment, folks. Have a look at that. Corvette, Audi, Lambo, BMW and Porsche.
Oh, Nominsen's had a problem.
Uh-oh. FFB cut out.
Force feedback.
Force feedback, gotcha. It only makes sense if everybody else understands the terminology that you're trying to shorten, Kurt. Thank you to Adam Lavis, however, for understanding it and being able to translate. Speaking of which, speaking of translators, it's 9:10. I can almost get away with this. I thought I was rather fluent in the French language, Adam Lavis. But apparently,
École.
Here comes Ryan Campbell in 6th at the moment, having a look on Aaron Cooper. Yeah, I thought I was pretty fluent in French. Apparently, it's only the Australian version of it, because when I was watching the closing ceremony this morning, I'm sitting there thinking, geez, it'd be handy if you had the subtitles like what you get on SBS at this particular point in time, when they're sitting there, you know, thanking the crowd for their attendance and thanking everybody for their support and patting themselves on the back for the greatest show in the world and all that crap. Yes, there's a bit of a difference between Australian French and actual French, it would seem. Kurt Nomenson, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, going down the front straight, I turned to go through the kink over the start line, and I couldn't feel how much I turned. Just plucked the rear wheel off the car going down the front straight.
So it's almost so force feedback. So describe that to me in terms of you know, taking the technological side of what we do and converting into real world terms. Would that be the equivalent of, you know, the steering wheel coming off the steering column, potentially?
Yeah, basically, you just do all failing in the steering. It's like you've got nothing.
So
it's
a bit like
the steering arm comes loose.
A bit like Greg Rust in the Aussie Racing Coalition.
But kind of the opposite happens though, because in a real world situation you'd have no steering, whereas in Kurt's situation he had too much steering because he turned too much.
You just can't tell. And yeah, I just plucked the rear wheel off the car because the Mustang damage model is still a bit frail for what it is.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, isn't it, mate? I mean, at the end of the day, you're not the only one to stumble upon force feedback issues in the last 7 to 10 days, but at the same time, it's frustrating that there's no... hang on just a moment here. We've got Aaron Cooper under pressure from Ryan Campbell. Jeeth has already taken 3 seconds out of Ben Woods and put 3 on Aidan Luthwaite in 3rd place in the Lambo, and remains 15 seconds behind Denchi right now. Maybe that spin, maybe the couple of issues he's encountered will cost him a crack at Dench later tonight. Only time will tell. 23 minutes and 40 seconds still to go here. Talk to me about this, Kurt, because it's so frustrating that there's absolutely nothing you can do in that situation except feel helpless. There's no quick fix to, you know, undo the problem. It just happens and then buggers your entire race. I keep describing it as the technical issues of the sim world, the mechanical issues of the sim world, like that. And you're not alone. It happens more regularly than you'd like to think so, given the technology and the cost of it.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. You know, I'd started 7th and I'd fought my way up to 4th place. I was chasing down the podium actually. I had a lot of pace on me. And yeah, just going right there, I just put that wall and it pulled the wheel off the car. That was very frustrating.
Isn't it funny? No sooner do I get a question about the Queensland election, and then there's a post from Shannon Fentiman, one of our local MPs up here, talking about the pumping up and tooting the horn and pumping the tyres of the 50-cent transport fares that they've got at the moment. I'll wager this. There'll be enough people get sick of those 50-cent transport fees in Queensland because of the added congestion on train networks and the whole bumping shoulder to shoulder with people on overcrowded trains to and from work, buses, etc., that they'll go back on to their usual habits of going to work and contending with the already congested roads. It hasn't happened yet, but I'm sure patience will wear thin at some point. What a silly ploy or strategy to try and gain votes in an election at the end of October. But then again, this is the incumbent we're talking about, and look what they did during COVID. Aiden Luthwaite in 4th place at the moment. Aaron Cooper is 5th. Ryan Campbell is 6th. You're riding on board with Luthwaite, looking back at Campbell and also Cooper. And they've just gapped Nick Wood here momentarily. So, Kurt, that's unfortunate the night's already done, mate. Hopefully you'll get those force feedback issues sorted rather quickly, ready for the next round. Aaron Cooper to pit lane. And on the subject of the next round, mate, you must be hoping for a better run when we get to Road America.
Yeah, hopefully. I did a few laps in the Mustang at Road America when they had the global. So yeah, I like the way the Mustang handled it. Just have to see how we go. Hopefully next week should be a bit better, both in supercars and the GT3. Tonight was just not my night.
Indeed, mate. Thanks for coming in and updating us on that. Unlucky. We can only hope the week gets better from here, mate. Thanks for that. Yep, it's always frustrating. And there are so many people that can sympathise with that because it's happened to them so many occasions before. It's not a regular occurrence. It's just enough to be a nuisance and ruin a good night out or ruin a season in some respects. Down onto the main straight comes Jonathan Hooper, and he is chasing Adam.
Speaking of a really good night out, I just realised Liam Reston never left the pits.
Yes. And Jackson Rayhana's back in there, and Fred Kahn never left the pits either. Jonathan Hooper gets through on the inside, and that was a good bit of driving to get by David Johnson and go out in pursuit of Andrew Neal. Colby Callum, Dave Riddell have come to pit lane. William Yarwood got back out after his moment. He's hopefully good to go to the checkered flag. We'll wait and see. Reston out in the BMW, down 21 spots. Rayhana out, down 13 spots in the Lambo. Khan, Dial, Jackson, a fair rate of attrition, but some good pedigree in those drivers as well. They'll be frustrated tonight, that lot. Now, I mentioned the Olympics earlier. Remember, 9:20 local time, straight after the block. So that's coming up in a matter of seconds for our Eastern States viewers. A full replay of the closing ceremony, which was a marathon, just over 3 hours this morning from France on Nine's Wild Border Sports to bring their curtain down on their Olympic coverage for good. As far as 2024 is concerned, Paralympics coming up August 29. And then all eyes turn to a July Olympics in Los Angeles. So it won't be carrying over into August like this one did. It'll be all done in July. Matty Dench, Cody Deeth, 13.5 seconds. So whilst we've been watching this, Cody Deeth has found his way by Ben Woods. Top 10 yet to stop. Russ Green, nice to see him back out on the grid. He's down in 10th spot at the moment, up 14. This is what happened to Cody Deeth another moment ago as he got by Ben Woods and made light work of him. Woods actually just conceded by the look of that, yielded and let him go. As far as second pit stops are concerned, Cooper Luthwaite. Oh, geez, that got hairy very quickly. There you go. Andrew Neal got through. Jonathan Hooper did not. Dave Riddell down in 22nd at the moment, the last of the running cars on the racetrack right now. He is a lap down, and so too is William Yarwood. So too is Colby Callum's about to be. There is what happened to Jonathan Hooper. Adam?
Well, it looks like Dimitri just came out of the pits, and Jonathan was trying to take advantage of it, and just got that little bit of a side contact, which is a bit weird in the sim, because sometimes it just makes that rear disconnect, and you get the unfortunate spin like you got there. Aaron Cooper. Oh, he's pitted twice. He's pitted again. Okay, no, I was just about to say he's dropped back a bit.
I'm just having a look at that. Aaron Cooper has stopped. So too Aiden Luthwaite. They're on the run home to the checkered flag. And Damien Cairns, Dimitri Agatos, David Johnson, Chuk Fung Wong. There's a question mark over Jonathan Hooper having stopped at the 17 lap mark, whether he can get home from there. Colby Callum should be right. And William Yarwood at 19. Oh, I don't know whether he'll be okay or not either. 14 laps, 15. If he can stretch it, he should be okay. Dave Riddell's just gone down another lap. We've picked up Aaron Cooper. So Reston out. Riddell down a lap. Yarwood down a lap. Cowan down a lap. Hooper about to be the next target for going a lap down. As the replay, the closing ceremony gets underway on 9. Aaron Cooper holding on to 10th at the moment. Holding off Aiden Luthwaite. Those guys are fighting for outright top 5 at the moment. Matty Dench to pit lane to complete his second and final pit stop. So he's evened it out nicely here, Denchy, with regards to fueling a little bit shorter to make the second and third stints about as long as one another. He probably won't take tyres on this stop. We'll wait and see. Wood and Donaldson also in. Campbell goes through. Woods and Deeth continue on as well. Denchy comes out after 13.9 seconds. So, I mean, if he was going to take any tyres, it would have been in the first stop, which was about 16 seconds. All happening. All happening. And that's as we work our way through our final sequence of pit stops. 44.5 minutes gone. Here comes Aaron Cooper as Nick Wood and Eli Donaldson exit pit lane. Russ Green and Ryan Mould ahead there, and they've got him. They've got him. Aaron Cooper and Aiden Luthwaite, they just barge on by. They storm on by. As Donaldson comes back onto the racetrack, so does Wood. And Cairns is another 5.5 seconds down the road.
Eli deliberately pulled up then to let the other two twitchy foots ahead. So a bit of team tactics there.
Yeah, wondering whether that was some sort of intentional or not. So Donaldson in 10th. Nick Wood 9th.
I just said just Nick. He was just letting Nick get ahead.
Yeah.
He just wanted to follow Nick because Dave's left down. So
that's right. That's right. And so Johnson might become a little bit of a problem in that regard in a moment. Cooper 7th. Luthwaite 8th. Riding on board with the youngster. Doing a very nice job. Best place to the Whiskey Business Racing stable, having a clean run thus far. Six different manufacturers in the top 10 at the moment, if I've done my maths right. Audi, Porsche, BMW, Corvette, Ford, and Lamborghini leading the way in the form of Cody Deeth. That's 6 different manufacturers. Not the best track for Ferrari at this rate because they're stuck down there in 12th, 13th, and 16th through Dimitri Agathos, Thomas Foster, and Russ Green. They're the only 3 Ferraris in the split. As we continue on once more. Luthwaite getting fired away by Aaron Cooper. No, not yet. 13.5 to go. We're still waiting for the second stop of Deeth, Woods, Campbell. But Deeth enjoying a little bit of clear air right now. Matty Dench has stopped. He's the best placed of those.
What is with the junk today?
I was going to say, we're not working with much, are we? We're just getting... It's garbage night here in race for you. That might have something to do with it. Jeez. Cody Deeth leads. Woods is second. Rain Campbell is third. I was in the middle of trying to say that the only car in the top 6 that's already stopped twice and has cleansed on the way home is Matty Dench. He's the best placed, as you'd expect, as the race leader of anyone that has completed their fuel strategy for the night. 12 minutes to go. We're at 80% race distance. Brenton Hobson to pit lane to complete his second stop. Luthwaite trying to set up Aaron Cooper for a move here. Cooper's right there. Luthwaite pulls out. Luthwaite's up the inside. Luthwaite's got the run. Have a look at this. Aiden Luthwaite to the inside to go to 6th on Aaron Cooper. Thanks for stopping by. The BMW displaces the Porsche. Risky business. Heading for the top 5 in the form of Aiden Luthwaite. What about that? Magnificent. $11 minutes to go. Deeth will come back to the line to complete lap 28 this time by, but I reckon he'll come back via pit lane. He stopped on lap 14 in the first stint. He took the full tank. He now goes to pit lane. He's run the tank dry on 2 occasions. So too has Benny Woods. So too, therefore, has Ryan Campbell. They're all in. Denchi will come through and take the lead of the race while they are on pit road. And then Cody Deeth will go about his business of trying to rein in Matty Dench on the run to the checkered flag. Fascinating. Final few stages of this race ahead of us here, but Dench is clear. The margin is ballooning out beyond 4-5 seconds. Make it 6. It could be 7. In fact, it is. Deeth is 7 seconds down on Dench. And there are not 7 laps to go. There's 6 at best. Well, actually, no. It could be. Oh, hang on. Let's have a look here. 1 minute 40. 1:43:20 and 5. So 6 is 7. So we're going to go to 35, but we're going to do overtime to get there. I do believe I'm right in saying. Just keep an eye on that clock when Dench comes back to the line. Where he's running will determine whether we do overtime for lap 34 or lap 35. Lap 35 is where I've got us going at the moment on the rough maths that I'm doing in my head. And I've told everyone for the longest time, maths is not my strong point. So I'm not sure if it'll be 34 or 35. Head says it will be 35 because with the pace that Dench is carrying, he should get us there.
It's going to be interesting if we get a race where Cody actually qualifies well.
Or if he bothers to qualify at all.
I think both races we've seen in the pro split, he's been at the back of the field either without qualifying or not being able to get a lap down. So,
is it intentional to just try and prove a point? Oh, he nearly did it at the Nürburgring as well, as we know. Cody Deeth in second place.
Dimitri's actually starting to put the pressure on Hobbo here.
It's not a game, it's a sim. We've said that before. Hello to Chris Whitaker on that note. Brenton Hobson in 10th place. He's fought his way back into the 10. Everybody has now stopped twice. Everybody is cleansed. We're on our way to the checkered flag. It's a case of going through the motions here. Can Hobbo withstand the pressure of Dimitri Agathos? At this stage, the way it stands, this is to determine whether a Ford or a Ferrari is the 6th different manufacturer in the top 10. We've got Corvette. We've got Lamborghini. We've got Audi, BMW, Porsche. What we don't know is whether it'll be a Ferrari in the form of Brenton Hobson. A Ford Mustang in the form of Brenton Hobson or a Ferrari in the form of Dimitri Agathos. Holding sway as far as that final spot on the 10 is concerned. One way or another, we're heading to 6 different manufacturers in the 10 out of 7 on the grid. No Mercedes, no McLaren on the grid at the moment in this particular split and server anyway. But it's interesting. It is really interesting. Young Craig asked the question earlier about what I'd like to see. I mean, there's so much potential, isn't there? Certainly the night from the block people, there it is. Yeah, absolutely.
The other annoying thing too, I don't know if it's a new thing on the Twitch thing. Every time we've had one of those through, like I made the one on Facebook, I managed to block them block them from things. But the Twitch ones, I open my Twitch page up and it's not showing me my chat history, so I can't actually do anything about it.
Oh dear. Look at the amount of curb they're taking through there at the moment. That's Johnson. Behind Johnson is Bernays and Fung Wong. Riddell is a lap down still. As is as is Andrew Neal and Jonathan Hooper, I should say. William Yarwood's got himself back onto the lead lap there. Here is Thomas Foster in 12th. Looking back towards David Johnson down the main straight. 6 minutes on the clock. And then she'll get back to the line next time by, and there will be 4 laps to go. Give or take. Yeah. Cody's had a magnificent run, and no post-race discussions with race control to be entered into, apparently, with regards to Cody D. Which is good for him, and also good for us, because it means as we call them across the line, that's how they'll stand. Not like when we were at Road Atlanta earlier in the night with Connor Nixon's moment with Michael Hammond. Yep. Okay, so Neil's the only one that's... Well, actually, Neil's just on pit road right now. David Bell's also on pit lane.
Cody D's incident with Hobbo was deemed as netcode involved.
Okay, copy that. I'll be interested to see how Hobbo feels about that. It's 5.5 from Dench to Deeth with 4 minutes 50 on the clock. Remembering that I've got it at 3 laps every 4 minutes. 3 laps every 5 minutes is the maths that I'm running on tonight. And we're inside 5 to go. So as long as Denchi gets back to the line at around about that 3 minute 30 marker, which he should do, it won't be a problem. We'll get those 3 laps in.
DJ
He's
sending it.
Lead. Big send down the inside. Johnson contact. Johnson and Foster toe-to-toe. And Jono's got himself up in at 12th. Well done, DJ. 1:42.462 in the meantime. Fastest lap of the race for Cody D. And Bernays slots into 14th. So all of a sudden, that's a 4-way fight for 12th. Bernays and Fung Wong have latched onto it. Ferrari, BMW, Ford and Corvette all involved in this. So again, for the second time tonight, we've got 4 different manufacturers involved in the 4-car scrap. Yeah, Denchi's well and truly on his way home now. This is lap 33. He'll have plenty of time up his sleeve to come back and get the 35th lap underway and get the white flag in the process in regulation. Down the inside, Bernays gets the elbows out with Thomas Foster.
So Thomas Foster only put 7 seconds of fuel in. I think he's fuel saving because he's running low. So he knows he's in trouble. He's just trying to get it home.
He's got 2 laps to go. And I'm not sure if he's aware of that at the moment. Well, actually, 3 laps. They're going to have to do 3. It's Denchi's 3/4 of a lap ahead of these blokes. Oh, Bernays, Foster. Foster's in a little bit of trouble here, but he's still found a way back in front of them. Oh, jeez, Bernays. Oh, contact with Foster. Got away with it. All the meanwhile, Chook Fung Wong wants a piece of this, and he'd be best off keeping his nose out of it. He might get 2 for the price of 1. Dench's just come back to the line well inside that 1 minute, outside that 140 threshold. So that tells you that we're going to have about 10 seconds on the clock when he starts the final lap, folks. So about a minute and a half of overtime tonight. Not that we're complaining. The more value for money, the better. It's been a good night. It's been not the most eventful race we've ever brought you on the platforms of the GSRC. That usually goes to a TCR or a Porsche or a Formula V or a Mazda MX-5. But no, this is magnificent. Great to see the scrap continuing for 13th. Everything else has sort of sorted itself out. Johnson, Bernays has bowled it wide. Bernays loses out to Foster, but can't. But still managed to cover off Chuk Fung Wong. Fung Wong could not find his way by.
So Foster had a massive lift. Foster had a massive lift there to save some fuel, and Bernays has misjudged that, bowled himself wide, and now giving Foster a bit of a breathing space to try and save some more fuel.
Madness. Absolutely madness. So 2 laps to go. Good luck, Tommy Foster. Jeez.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
You might have a slowdown as well, maybe. Unless he's just realised he's not going to make it, so he's just getting out of it.
Bad luck for Thomas Foster. Just the slightest miscalculation on fuel. It's going to be proving very, very costly because Russ Green's under 2.2 seconds away from him as well. Dench starts the final lap. Dench is on his way home. Turn 2, turn 3, turn 4 out of the chicane. Cody Deeth has got to within 4.5 seconds, but it won't be enough. He's going to finish strong. Dench loves trying to get the fastest lap of the race, but good luck while Cody Deeth's in here. Dench has done everything else right, though. Red from the front, barely been spotted on the broadcast cameras because when you're out on your own, there's bugger all to talk about and bugger all to show. There's been battles unfolding everywhere else in the field tonight. It's just been easier to let you know that Denchy's still in front doing Denchy things, but it's been a very lonely night for him. And usually the best sign of it being a very good night for you, Adam Lavis, is that we're not showing replays of you.
Yeah, if you're out in front just doing your own thing, it's sort of one thing. It's sort of satisfying, but it's satisfying in one way, but it can be more satisfying when you have to fight for the win too. So, as I said, once Cody starts qualifying again and putting Denchy under pressure, and if Denchy can pull those wins off, I'm sure he'll find them much more enjoyable. Oh, we're back.
Oh, hang on. Lost you there momentarily, Adam Lavis. I hope you still got me.
Yeah.
Last turn, checkered flag. Matty Dench gets the job done again and wins at the Imola circuit in Italy to further extend his dominance in this championship. He'll take the lead into the final 4 rounds of the season and put one hand on title number 11. Ben Woods will be third behind Cody Deeth. The margin in the end was, well, between Dench and Deeth was 4.2, and then back to Woods was another 17.8 seconds. Ryan Campbell came home 4th, Aidan Luthwaite 5th. Aaron Cooper, Nick Wood, holding off Eli Donaldson, Damien Cairns, and Brenton Hobson has done enough to hold off Dimitri Agathos. The Hobo Mustang Venture gets another top 10 finish. Agathos 11th, the first of the Ferraris home. 6 different manufacturers in the 10. Corvette led home. Lamborghini, Audi, BMW, Porsche, Audi, Corvette, Ford. And then the Ferrari in 11th. Johnson, Bernays, Fung Wong. And unfortunately, Chuck unable to do anything about that. Green, Callum, Mulder, and Foster is trying to just limp it to the checkered flag.
Yeah, no clutches anymore in these things unless you're doing under 100 Ks, I believe. So it's a lot of lifting and coasting here to go.
It's unfortunate.
He's still got throttle, so that's a good thing.
It's unfortunate that he had that miscalculation because he was there right in the thick of it, in contention.
It's Coffin. It's Coffin now. He's timed it perfectly.
A higher up spot. Yeah, he has done it very well. It's 18th, but it's a case of what might have been for Thomas Foster as he intentionally wrecks the car at the end. Magnificent racing from him. And, I mean, unlucky that he just got the sums wrong there, and probably the extra lap didn't help him. I mean, if it hadn't been for Dench and Deitch, we wouldn't have got that extra lap in. They dragged us to 35 with their exhilarating pace and nothing else. Had it been Benny Woods leading the race, an extra 17 seconds, we would not have done that extra lap. That's how tight we were on the clock between getting that extra lap and not. Dench, Deith, Woods, Campbell, Luthwaite, Cooper, and Wood, the top 7. Donaldson, Cairns, and Hobson finished it off. And outside, Agathos, Johnson, Bernays, Fangwong, Green, Cowham, Mulder, and Foster that completed those that ended on the lead lap. Hooper just outside, so too Yarwood. Andrew Neal got home. Dave Riddell was 22nd, but well, he actually got back out and finished despite being 6 laps down. I'll tell you what, he's only just scraped through. He's got 80% race distance in the belt. He needed 75, so he's just got home on that, and he will get points for 22nd as a result. The retirements were Liam Reston, Jackson Rayhana, Fred Khan, Jackson Dial, and Jake Jackson. Dial and Jackson, the big shunt of the night, and Fred Khan, of course, caught up late in the piece. And Liam Reston and Jackson Rayhana, well, Rayhana we kind of knew, but Reston I did not even see. I don't know what on earth caused him to retire. We'll try and pick all that apart as we get stuck into the post-race show here and show you a replay of what went down. And thankfully, because he's first into the booth, he can be first cab off the rank. He saw himself out last week. We didn't get a chance to chat to him. Tommy Foster, good evening to you. Unfortunately, just the pace of Dench and Deitch really hurt you in the end there, mate. You had to stretch out a severely depleted fuel tank an extra lap than you would have liked.
Yeah, definitely. I tried something new tonight. I did my own setup. Yeah, nah. Just nah. It didn't fall my way, so that's all right. We live and we learn.
Absolutely we do. In saying that, though, mate, you had good pace in the Ferrari, and you had a good little scrap going on there in the backstage of the race as well.
Yeah, I was actually holding them up as much as I can to fuel save, but yeah, these boys are on point and they knew where to get me, so it is what it is. I had a good race. I had a bit of fun. I had to try and save what I could, and I just couldn't get there.
Indeed, and I mean, it's hard, isn't it, on a night like this, because a good result, a better result went begging there. But talk us through the challenges of doing your own setup and I guess the time and the what's the word I'm looking for? The time required and also, I guess, from your standpoint, just the mental strain of instead of going with the norm and relying on somebody else to hand that down for you, just going about it in your own manner and doing it yourself, and how that varies to the norm in terms of your race setup, your preparation, and the time spent in the sim.
Well, a heap of time goes in it to start with. Like it's amazing trying to get the feel, what you like, the driver's style, and then be able to get the pace out of it at the same time. You know, it's very easy to fall into the trap of what's comfortable, and what's comfortable isn't fast. So at the moment, I'm trying to get to the point where the car's sliding around, which it was a lot tonight, for me to be able to push myself a little bit harder. But hey, it didn't work out tonight. I'll go back to the drawing board and start again.
Talk me through the season so far, mate. I mean, obviously, tonight's a little bit of a blip in the road, but what have you made of it? Can you believe we're 6 weeks in already? Jesus, that's gone quick.
Mate, it's going heaps fast. Like, these tracks are pretty good tracks, in my opinion. I like the season lineup this season, sorry. But at the end of the day, I suppose I started late. I wasn't really here for the whole championship status. It's just I'm trying to better myself this season to start again fresh next year.
Indeed. Well, obviously, it'd be nice to finish this one strong, take some momentum into the next one, and build on something going into the back half of the calendar year, because we're already in the back half of the sim year. But talk to me about how you go about turning things around and finding some sort of comfort level and some sort of consistency when we get to Road America next week.
Oh man, a lot of the throughout the seasons, my biggest weakness has been the sprint rounds, and that's one of the things I have been concentrating on, which I think last week was the sprint round. I didn't do too badly there.
No, that's right. Yep.
So I was really happy to come away with the positionings that I did last week. I do apologise, I had to run away. I couldn't stick around, but
All good, mate. All good.
yeah, these are the things that I need to sort of nip in the butt and to further the chances of my championship. I've been close a few times now and just haven't quite got there. So we'll get there. We'll get the Pacific Esports Ferrari up there. We'll get it.
Indeed, you will. I mean, you slowly chip away and persevere with it and remain somewhat patient with it. The reward will hopefully come, mate. I mean, you mentioned that sprint rounds are a bit of your Achilles heel. I know Denchi feels the same way. There's always a little bit of extra pressure on the great men when we go sprint racing. So talk to me about how much of a relief it is that the back half of the schedule is top heavy with these single races, the 60s and the 90s. There's 3 60-minute races and a 90-minute race. Tonight we've ticked off one of those 60 minutes. Only one sprint round to come, and I think it's week 8.
Mate, if you the thing is with the longer races, once you've done a few laps and turned a few laps, then you sort of get a bit of space. And once you get a bit of space, you can put your head down and just knuckle those laps away, as long as you're comfortable in the setup you've got, which I've found to be, good for me in past races. But where it hurts me is with sprint racing, when we finish a race and you get turned upside down and start again. So, yeah.
All right, mate. And are we gonna see you on track between now and the end of the week, or will it just be focusing on Road America?
Mate, I've got like Sunday morning to practice and then Monday to race. I've sort of got a very busy family schedule and a lot going on right now. So, yeah.
All right, mate. No worries. Hey, it's very nice of you to hang around and have a chat with us. We do appreciate it. Obviously, we don't always know what people's movements and timeframes are and all that sort of stuff. So I'm glad that you beat the rush in here tonight and first cab off the rank. Well done. Nice to chat to you. In only one of 3 Ferraris in the field, it would have been a case of you being ahead of Russ Green had it not been for the fuel, but you live and learn, mate. Hopefully a better run next week when we get to Road America. Thanks for that.
Thanks, mate. Have a good night.
And it's interesting, isn't it, Adam Lavis, this whole dynamic of, we've still got that sprinkling of Ferraris. We talk about driver comfort. We've still got Ferraris. We've still got Audis. We've still got Bimmers. We even had a couple of Lambos out there tonight, which was good to see. But it seems as though the dominant numbers still remain with the Porsches and the Corvettes and the Mustangs in the field. There's a bit of a resurgence going on with the uptake of the BMW and even the Audi as well. So the Corvette v Mustang war that we had this touted as being hasn't yet come to fruition. But speaking of Mustangs, Brenton Hobson's joined us in the booth. Speaking of Corvettes, Greg Heaney's joined us in the booth, ladies and gentlemen. I'll get to you first, Greg Heaney, because you beat the great man here. And we will chat to 1B Hobson about his supercar win very shortly as well. Let's talk to you about the Whiskey Business Stable, because it's growing in size, as we know. That checkbook must be running a little bit thin on paper right about this point of the year. But great to have Aidan Luthwaite back on the grid tonight, mate, and he didn't let you down. That was a solid drive to top 5.
Oh, very nice. I hadn't actually seen the results yet. Good to have you back on deck as well, Zach.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was actually...
I was here last week. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, the end of last week you weren't here, but I think you had other commitments on. Probably more Olympics than we could probably poke a stick at.
Thursday night wasn't my fault. We were lacking a producer and director here on GSRC. And Friday night I was loaned out to Hobbo. So you can thank him for the fact that I wasn't in the booth for IndyCar on Friday night.
It's all good. Yeah, I was actually somewhat surprised. I think we had 11 drivers on tonight. I think we had 6 in the Pro Split and 5, would have been 5 in the Pro-Am, except Dane Snadden got himself a set of shiny new pedals last week, and he only got them hooked up this afternoon. Turns out half his buttons weren't working on his steering wheel, so he didn't quite make the jump.
That can be a problem. Yep.
Yes.
That can be a problem.
So, but no, it was, yeah, good from the boys in the Pro-Am. We had 2 finish inside the top 10, I'm pretty sure. I know Pavlo finished 8th. I'm pretty sure Matt Schmidtke finished inside the 10. I finished inside the top 15, I think. Oh, no, yeah, so Pavlo 8th, and I think, yeah, Matt 9th, and I think I finished somewhere, I think inside the top 15 maybe. Having a good old battle with the boys in front of me.
There you are.
There we go. 18. Yeah, so
18th,
I couldn't quite catch Neil, but I'm pretty sure I was making him sweat for the last handful of laps. So,
all right. Well, since we're there, just hang on one moment. Can we scroll back to the top, please, Adam Lavis, and remind everybody that it was job done for Daniel Yeaman. Very nicely done, actually. He hung out in the commentary box on Friday night and didn't say a bloody word. Bevan Moyes, Michael Edwards, Stephen Calliter and Bobby Camo, the top 5. And Adam Chiplin, Ben Brook, Pavlo, Hannah, Matt Schmidtke and Dale Sharp, the top 10. Good to see Daniel does his talking on track, though. That was a solid performance. 19.456 seconds to the good. And he's actually in our green room right now, so we'll bring him in and we will have a chat to Daniel in just a few moments' time. Greg, going back to you, I'm sorry I interrupted there.
No, that's all good.
Let's just cover off the fact that you had an okay run in the sense that you got to 18th, but Imola's a tricky course, and it's not everybody's cup of tea.
Oh, most definitely. I think I had a spin through Acqua Minerale. I think that was my only real spin under my own lack of talent, or ran out of it. But apart from that, yeah, I mean, the track was absolutely baking for us. I think it started at about close to 40 odd degrees. So it was only really cooling off towards the end. I'm probably sure the Pro Split boys probably copped the same heat in the track, but you're certainly right. It's a slowdown here, if you manage to give yourself one, will crucify you to no end. But yeah, it's, as you say, it is a very tricky track to be able to be very quick around. So I will congratulate Daniel on the win. I'm hoping I didn't hold him up too much when he was catching me on his in lap, but he was consistently about a second faster than everybody. So I reckon you'll probably see him in Pro Split next week.
I would imagine so. I'm going to come back to you in a sec, Greg. You mentioned the race winner. Let's bring him in as far as Pro-Am was concerned, and then we'll get to the results of Am as well. Daniel, well done. Nice performance, mate, and a clean one, and a good win. We didn't obviously see the race. We're watching Pro. We've only just seen the results now, but a solid hit out, mate. Talk us through the night, please.
Thanks, Zach. I mean, yeah, getting a chance to finally drive some GT3 again, coming over from the Endurance Series as well was how I've ended up here of recent. And yeah, just did a bit of practice earlier this afternoon, picked out the Lambo, because I'm only available for a couple of races for the back half of this season. And then, yeah, qualifying went really well once I slapped on the qualifying setup, and then just able to just keep it between the lines, just exercise a bit of restraint, and just able to keep building a bit of margin as the laps went on.
Nice though. I mean, there's obviously a couple of things we could talk about here. How nice though, in a situation like this where you know that you're not able to do the whole complement, you know you're only here for a limited time. You've therefore got, freedom of choice with regards to the car you go with, and the poetic license to throw caution to the wind, and it seems like you're able to do that. So talk to me about the shortcomings of obviously not being in championship contention, but how that favours you in not having to worry about that from a pressure standpoint or a mathematical standpoint. And talk to me about the reason why you went with the Lambo, because it was pretty strong under the capable hands or control of Cody Death tonight as well.
I mean, yeah, I guess being here, I guess one hand it's easy because in the sense that I don't have to worry about. I'm not racing for a championship, as you said. I'm here just to do what I can each time I can race and focus on that particular night when it comes to the result. But at the same time, it also means that, I mean, tonight worked out pretty well for me in Pro-Am. I wasn't getting myself involved in the racing elsewhere on track. I was able to stay out front from start to finish. But in one hand, I guess it's good for me, but it's also, if I was buried in the pack more, that would be where I guess the table flips. Now I've got to start thinking about championship, everyone else perhaps, and how they're trying to race each other, because I'm now the interloper that's in amongst the pack. And just with picking the Lamborghini tonight, just had a look around some of the data packs from the setup shops and where the car's at. Also looking at the tracks that are coming up that I can do, and just trying to pick one that I thought would be decent tonight. Should be all right going on for the last couple of races, and hopefully put together a consistent package in this car.
Our audience at home can see it on the bottom right-hand side of your screen there, folks, whenever somebody's talking. So I've got my PowerPoint drawn bloody takeoff of the Wide Motorsports logo. And when Daniel's talking, I saw that profile pic of yours, mate, and you've just mentioned the word interloper, but the first thing I thought of was a bloody caramello koala for some reason.
It's the full logo of the team. We usually use half a koala head with the team name Drop Bear Motorsport as usual, but when I joined the team originally, got that set up by the former team owner at the time as just a Discord profile icon. So I've been rocking that now for several years. And Drop Bear Koala, however you look at it, that's what it's been and what it'll probably stay for the foreseeable future.
And the Drop Bear boys going all right at the moment across the board, not just with your win tonight.
Certainly got Connor and Tyson who are getting some laps in the Super V8 series. Also had a couple other guys, some of the other GT running, although I don't think quite on that front tonight apart from me. I think from us, we were coming across from GSRC Endurance on the weekends, and it's a case for us to sort of, and also Downforce Legends, that was the other one that we've got a couple of guys running a bit more regularly as well. Yes. Just a chance to get some more racing in and try and sort of see what we can do. On the regular is probably the big thing that we're looking to sort of get out of being here on the weekly GSRC series.
Talk to me about obviously coming across from the Enduro series. You're already familiar with the framework, the cars, and the like. That it's a bit more rip tear rush bust because you got a lot less time on the clock on a Monday night. Do we see you for Road America next week? And if so, what are your initial thoughts on that?
Unfortunately, Road America will be one of the tracks I can't make. You'll actually so basically for Mondays you'll see me on a fortnightly schedule. So 2 weeks time at Hockenheim will be the next time I'll be out on track, and hopefully that means I might be able to see where I stand amongst the pro category guys there. Hopefully fingers crossed the Lamborghini still a solid set of wheels when we get there. With the setup tonight, even here as well, definitely there's probably some more pace in it, and there's just guys like Cody Deeth running a Lamborghini. He's sort of himself, Matt Dench, will be definitely benchmarks continuing. So maybe if we can get in amongst the top 10, it'd be nice personally going forward. But hopefully dial in the Lamborghini. Hopefully don't make it too fidgety, and just sort of keep it sort of where it's fast, loose, but not threatening to kill me at the couple of the twisty turns around Hockenheim.
Yes, we know that sprint racing there can be fraught with danger and chaotic. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when we arrive in Germany in a couple of weeks' time, mate. Thank you for that. Well done. And go well throughout the course of the next fortnight. We look forward to seeing you on grid then.
Cheers, Zach. And look forward to getting back out on track and doing some racing. Given I don't do enough of it, it feels like half the time on iRacing with everything else I'm up to.
Not before time. No, it's good to see you already admitting that we'll likely see you in the top split in a couple of weeks' time. And then hopefully off to Fuji for the grand finale over 90 minutes as well. There he is, Daniel Yeaman. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Yep, that's the plan to finish up at Fuji indeed. Just by the way, before I sign off, Yeaman is that surname. And
Yeaman. Thank you.
Yep, that's the one. Yep. Emphasis on the A. But all good there, man. Thanks for the chat, and look forward to seeing what else has been up tonight.
So if anyone's watching along at home, the E is essentially silent, is what you're saying.
More or less, yeah. The spelling basically matches the Victorian country town of Yay, and I think these days I just go Y-A-Y. That works, and probably makes it a little easier to understand.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say on the phonetic old spelling of it. Yeah, it'd be the Y-A-Y. Absolutely. Thank you, mate. I appreciate the clarification. Always looking for perfection, but you're never going to find it here on the platforms of the GSRC, let me tell you. But always happy to be steered in the right direction with, yes, hello, Andrew and Neil. Thank you. Just firing in the sledge for the sake of it. Always, and it's the same in karting circles as well, as Craig Bond knows. That one's easy to not trip up on, but there are others that you get your tongue wrapped around in the wrong way. So always happy to have pointed in the right direction, just in the sense of, being accurate for anything, for lack of better words. Thank you, Daniel. Greg Heaney, back to you before I get to the great man, B. Hobson. The rest of the stable, unfortunate for Jackson DL. You've probably seen the replay of that incident already.
I did see that briefly, crossed up the top of the hill, and I think he had another car implanted into the side of his one. So
yep. And William Yarwood, I think, ended up a lap down in the end of the proceedings. Andrew Neil, any chance to give him a mention so that he can defend himself by the comments on our YouTube feed. At least he moved up 5 spots tonight. William moved up 2, but it's just the BMWs just weren't there at the end tonight.
Well, yeah, the Beamers that were representing in the Pro-Am split were doing pretty well. Aiden is just Aiden in whatever car he drives. Exactly. So well done to him in the Beamer there. But yeah, as for the rest of the boys, it was good to have as many on as we did. Even Ryan Mulder showed up in the Audi. He's old faithful. So it was. Oh no. Don't worry, he was saying that last week after the Porsche Cup. And then he finished inside the top 4 or 5, I think. So, but no, look, the track itself, yes, it's tricky. Especially when it's hot, it is a very hard track to drive, be able to get the corners right and still maintain decent pace. So, but I'm happy I had as many boys show up tonight as we did. So well done to everybody that did manage to make it to the end of each split, and we'll move on to next week.
Sum it up for me before I bring in Brenton Hobson. The analysis of what's coming up for the rest of the week for the stable, and also your initial thoughts on what these are going to be like around Road America. It's very rare that we go there for anything less than 90 minutes, but it's just the 1 hour next Monday night.
I reckon it'll be one would think that it would be well suited to the Corvette and the Mustang, but it's going to be well suited for any car that's got decent straight line speed in it. So if you've got the cars dialed in properly, they're going to be certainly quick, and I reckon passing will only be happening in a couple of spots, maybe turn 3, or what would be turn 2, because the Americans call a bend in the road a turn, so it'll be turn 3. Maybe it's Chicago and down the bottom of the back straight, potentially. Maybe at the top of the carousel. There'll be a few spots, but I don't think it's going to be terribly many. As for the rest of this week, I'll definitely be on tomorrow night for SFLs. Hopefully the boys will be in for Porsches on Thursday. I'll be doubling up again for that one with the Downforce Legends as well, and back to IndyCars on Friday.
All right, mate, and I'm happy to report that I'm back in the booth this Friday night for IndyCar as well. So I look forward to catching up with you then. Greg Heaney, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your night, mate. Appreciate it.
No worries. Cheers, Zach.
Brenton Hobson, a couple of things to discuss with you. First one is nice to have you back on deck on the platforms of the GSRC. Second is a very, very handsome win in the supercar tonight, avoiding the drama behind you and staying out of it yourself. And thirdly, the first Ford home with a hard-fought 10th place in GT3 at Imola. I think we'll start with the positive, being that was the moment there with Cody Death. I need to come back and have a chat to you about that as well. But and I think everybody's now seen why Race Control ruled net coding on that one. But let's start with the supercars, mate. A nice way to put one, maybe 2 fingers on the championship title there.
Hey, Zach. How you going?
Good, mate.
Yeah, the supercar race went pretty good. It was I like that track. It's a good track. So I haven't raced there in a while, but I knew that we had a setup for there because a few of my teammates raced there for the qualifying series in the Logitech G Pro Invitational earlier in the year. So I knew we had a set. We knew we had a set in the car for there that was going to be good. So and I liked that place. So it was that was enjoyable. I just enjoyed it. Had a plan, nailed it, and yeah, I think I might have got the pole, the win, the fastest lap, no incidents, all on the one night. So that's what you want to try and do every week if you can. But it was a nice change to not have to race so hard, so to try and win one for once. It was good. The GT3s, as you saw, not quite so lucky, but I'm pretty realistic about my results in these things. So that was all right. Top 10, take that.
Well, to be fair, Hobbo, I mean, with regards to the supercars, it's nice when we go to racetracks that produce good racing. It's nice that we go to circuits that you like occasionally as well. And Road Atlanta does, tick all the boxes there as far as that's concerned. It doesn't matter if you haven't been there for a while. If you've got the setup and you know the ins and outs of it, the results come your way, or at least they're there for the taking, and you certainly took it tonight. With regards to this, you might have sold yourself a little bit short there, because for, a good chunk of the opening stanza, you were fourth, holding off a pack of, 4 would-be chasers. You opened the door and allowed either Betty Woods or Rain Campbell through. I think it might have, or maybe Aaron Cooper, actually. Aaron Cooper, I think it was, in the Porsche. You let him through, and all of a sudden, as we saw there, Cody Death and you 2 into 1 at that chicane doesn't necessarily go, mate. And from there, that did enough damage to just drop you out of contention for the top end of town tonight.
Yeah, that's right. I was on a bit of a different strategy, to be honest. I was just fuel saving along, and I didn't really know what the tyres would be like across an hour. I don't drive the cars, so I didn't really know what the tyres would be like. So I just thought I'd underdrive, save some fuel, not burn the tyres up. And I was probably might have only been about a lap or 2 short of making it on one stop, to be honest. So I was just going to go as long as I could and see what would come to me, shorter stops and that sort of thing. And I wasn't going to get in anyone's way. And I was quite surprised it took as long as it did for a few of those guys to sort of go past. I was, lifting, coasting, 50, 100 meters early into the big braking zones, and they sat behind me for quite a few laps. But eventually they worked their way past, and again, I had no intention of holding Cody up. Kid's a friggin' weapon, so I was never going to try and stop him or anything. I'm a little bit confused, to be honest. He caught me real quick and decided to put a move on in a place that you can't pass. So around the outside in a chicane, and it was netcode. There was a bit of netcode in it. But I had a quick look at it, and he left me exactly 1 car width to the white line on the inside at the curb. So he said he said on the radio, "I don't know where he expected me to go." I'm like, well, I don't know if he expected me to jump 4 wheels over the inside curb to not hit you as well. So just a bit ambitious probably for me, but either way, I don't really care. I'm not upset about it. Young kid, fire in the belly and trying to win some races. Good on him, and he's fast, there's no doubt about it. So we'll move on. It's all good.
Second again for him. Denchi said the same thing as well. He said, I'm very well aware of who this bloke is and what he brings to the table, and he's a weapon. So Denchi's enjoying the fact that he's burning from the stern and giving himself a little bit of a challenge and working his way through the field. But that highlights the point, doesn't it, Hobbo? That chicane specifically, because it somewhat cuts back on itself before you turn left. So you go right, and it's kind of like a cut back. So it's not a 90-degree corner. Therefore, it tightens up again for the left-hander. So it certainly wasn't on there. I agree with you. However, it highlights another more pressing point around here: limited overtaking opportunities.
Yeah, but if he had just been a little bit patient, he would have realised I was out of the throttle at every single braking zone around the track, and he could have easily gone down the inside. But he had to pass me as soon as he got to me, So, I remember a time when I was young and used to like driving from the back of the grid and trying to pass all the cars, and that is fun. I actually still do enjoy that, but I also remember a time when in this particular league, I sort of got told that maybe you should just think about what you're doing in a gentleman's series. And if you want to start from last, maybe don't be too aggressive if you're going to try and pass everybody on the way through. So he's the fastest guy in the field. There's no doubt about it. Denchi's unreal. We know that, but I think Cody's probably got him for 1 lap pace. And he nearly won anyway tonight, even though he started at the back and had a couple of dramas along the way. So I'd like to see him go head to head at the front. That's what I want to see. But either way, I mean, I'm not going to tell him what to do. I'm going to tell him what to do. He's much more talented than I am, so let him go.
Well, I mean, we've had this discussion before, Hobbo. You're up there as far as our club's concerned with the best of the best. So it's interesting to see the next crop of talent coming through. And you and I both come from a generation where we didn't have this sort of sophisticated, highly advanced technology to play with, for the longest time. iRacing's still in its infancy. Cody Deet's still in his infancy. These guys, they're adapting to it. They're learning very quickly. And you and I had first-hand experience of being able to witness, and I don't mind name dropping here on the subject of youthful exuberance, young Rehan Linaj on Friday night. They start young, and she's, the world's their oyster, isn't it? As far as the talent is concerned, the ambition's concerned, they take to it like a duck to water, and they do it bloody quickly.
You're not wrong. Both those guys they're at their age, despite how young they are, they're almost veterans in a way, because they've both been around for quite a while. I've seen Cody's name around for several years at this point. So, they've got a good problem to have, which is that they're really fast, and it's easier to slow someone down and make him better than it is to try and make him go quicker. So with time, he'll find his feet, and he's already proven before that he's unreal, so he doesn't need to prove it to anyone anyway. But I think he can only get better, honestly. So it's exciting to see. You're right. When I was his age, I was still, stay outside and play till the lights get dark, and
yep.
Till the sun goes down, and then make it back home in time for dinner, and play in the dirt. That was all we could do. But yep, it'd be nice to have all that luxury in your youth. That's for sure.
Absolutely. My youth's well and truly behind me now. Don't worry about that. I don't think there's too much else to talk to you about except to, cast one eye towards next week, mate. Week 7, if you can believe that already. Fuji International with no chicane for the supercar, and then on to Road America for the GT. So, Fuji's tried up some good racing ever since it dropped on the server in recent times. And Road America always throws up good racing, but particularly for the vehicle you're driving, it's a home round for the Mustangs. So pressure will be on to deliver a result there for the pony.
Oh, God, don't tell me that. I don't need any pressure. Was I the first Mustang home tonight? The thing's a dog.
Yes, you were.
Very good.
Well, I'll come back to that in a moment. Continue on. Just give me your initial thoughts on Fuji for the supercar and Road America for the Mustang, mate.
I think I've only ever raced Fuji in an MX-5. I don't think I've ever driven it in a supercar. I know that we used that track in the Pro Series qualifiers at the start of the year. So again, I'll have a set for there. The car will be fast. I'll just have to learn how to drive it. And I love Road America. It's another good track as well. And in these cars, it's probably going to be all right, actually. The GTs will probably go pretty good around there. So I don't think I've ever driven them there before. But it should be good fun. I'm certainly familiar with the track, so that's a start.
Just for whatever reason, my internet pages here in front of me, Hobbo, next to the timing, have decided to refresh themselves, and I just had YouTube blasting through my headphones, and that was very distracting right at the end of your statement there. So let me get back on track here. You mentioned that the Mustang's a dog of a thing. It's interesting that there was a lot of hype, so much hype about the Mustang and the Corvette. How good's this going to be? Very little uptake on it so far.
Well, you know more about it than I do, to be honest. I just come and do this on a Monday night every other week or thereabouts. So, so far, my impression is that it's not very fun to drive. I shouldn't say that, actually. I actually enjoy driving it. It is fun to drive, but it's just not very good. It understeers a lot. I don't know if that's meant to be a characteristic of it, but it's certainly an adjustment for me, especially when I go straight from a supercar to driving this thing. But, it sounds good, so that's pretty cool. Looks good. They're the important things in a race car, really.
Indeed. Hey, very quickly, because I only spoke to you about this in an off-air capacity the other day, but how excited are you as a supercar, entrepreneur in iRacing circles? as far as the news that dropped on Friday is concerned, we look at the fact that the Adelaide Parklands are coming, the Ben's coming to iRacing, Gen 3's coming to iRacing. There's still rumblings in the rumour mill about Sydney Motorsport Park as well. How excited are you, as someone that loves this supercar form of racing? In fact, it's your bread and butter as far as iRacing is concerned. Aficionado, I think was the word I was looking for, not entrepreneur, but you know what I'm saying. How excited are you? You must be chomping at the bit, because finally a bit more Australian content, both in terms of cars and circuits, on their way.
It's exciting, isn't it? I mean, anything more content related in the Australasian area is really cool for us. I'm still looking forward to Pukekohe coming when that gets done as well. So
we've somewhat forgotten about that, haven't we?
Well, not all of us, Zach. I'm looking forward to that when that gets here. But I think just more content in this region is really cool. We are a minority when you look at iRacing on the whole. Largely oval American stuff really is the majority of their service, but we punch above our weight like we do in the Olympics, Zach. We do all right here in Australia. We make a lot of noise for a small bunch, and we've done pretty well really up to this point with the content we've got. But we all know how good Adelaide's going to be, for example. It's going to be awesome, and I think the Ben's a good option because there's a lot of variation there. Track configurations and all the rest for different types of cars. Too bad you'll probably fall asleep while you're driving around. But
correct.
Apart from that, the track's probably not a bad option. SMP will be cool if it comes at some point, but Adelaide's the one for me. I mean, that's an absolute bell ringer of a track. I love that place, and I've been to the 500 there before in person. It's just an awesome atmosphere and an awesome track, and I'll drive around that in any car. I don't care if it's a supercar or not. Gen 3s when they come, that'll be exciting. I mean, we just don't know what we're going to get, do we? Like, iRacing's historically well known for just completely screwing up the supercar, but then the real life supercar's a little bit screwed up as it is anyway. So who knows? I don't know what we're going to get, but as far as I'm concerned, as long as it sounds good, it's going to look good and puts on good racing, well, that's probably the most important thing. And I'm sure it'll be very popular when it comes. It'll be a big boom in supercar land for the iRacing side of stuff, and we might see some new talent come through, which will be cool. But it's still a ways away. Got plenty of time before we have to worry about that, I suppose. But it is good news, like you say.
With regards to the Adelaide circuit, particularly excited about that in terms of it's another street circuit on iRacing. It's very rare that we see street circuits. I mean, what have we got? We got St. Petersburg, Long Beach, Chicago, and Bathurst is a road course. Yes, it's public road, but it's not a street circuit per se. It's a road course on a permanent road course. So there aren't too many in the way of street circuits, so that'll be exciting. If you're up for driving anything around there, we'll hold you to that with a Formula V or a TCR race or something. And as far as if SMP comes along, if we don't schedule every race there under the lights, I'm not here, because that's probably the best selling point of that circuit at the moment, and it's reflected in the novelty of the fact that we've only been doing that for about 3 or 4 years now, and it's still one of the coolest selling points of going to that racetrack at this point here in Australia. And it's also got extra configurations like the Bend as well. With regard
to a dirt track as well, Zach. So
that's
you never know. You might get to see that as well, which would be cool.
It would be indeed. Hey, I only just remembered this. And Adam mentioned it whilst we were riding on board with you, but our audience at home wouldn't have heard it. Any scarring, any nightmares, any flashbacks when you were driving around Road Atlanta tonight?
The invisible wall. No, that's only a problem with TCRs apparently. No, I've done a lot of laps around that track, I'm not going to lie, and that's only ever happened once. So, you're one of the very few special people that got to witness that, and I'll never forget it, because it's the only time I've ever had something like that happen, if I'm entirely honest. So I still don't know what the hell was going on there, but yes, no, I don't think about it, to be honest. But maybe if I was in a TCR, I might maybe think about it. But
that's true.
What a weird night that was, anyway.
There's been some weird nights in here, Hobbo, as you know, over the course of 4.5 years, but that was right at the top of the tree. Great work, great man. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Well done. We look forward to seeing you here this time next week.
Yeah, looking forward to it. We'll see how we go, and yeah, it should be good fun. Thanks for having me.
Indeed, there he is, the great man, Brenton Hobson. Adam Lavis, thank you to you as well. Let's have a look at the results from the AM split before we go any further, because I forgot to mention that earlier when we were talking to Daniel Yeaman. Philip Bartlett getting the job done there from Scott Jordanson and Gregory Colgan. Janesh Ragwani, Jason Tim in the top 5. Corey Horter, Kelvin Little, Christian Koch, Mark McNamara, and Martin Walker the top 10. And they only got to 34 laps, as we suspected would be the case, given that Denchi was in a league of his own. Winning margin 12 seconds. Butler to Jordanson. Interesting. Championship points. Where are we at with regards to how much of that we've got done to update everybody with, please?
Just AM and Pro, yeah.
Okay. All right, copy. Let's go. Let's do that right now and update everybody on where we're at with championship standings. Pro split, no surprise there. Denchi's out to an 88-point lead. So Rain Campbell in second, Benny Woods third. Daylight between Dench and the competition. Daylight actually between Rain Campbell and Benny Woods forming there as well. Consistency key for Rain at the moment. 294 to 233, 223 for Nick Woods. That was a good result for Benny Woods tonight to displace Nick Wood on the points table. 208 for Eli Donaldson. Damien Cairns 188 and Chook Fung Wong 182. Richard Mitchum, who wasn't on the grid tonight. Jared Knight wasn't on the grid tonight. David Bernays makes up the top 10. There are 228 points between first and 10th at the moment. It has ballooned out rapidly in the last couple of weeks. Let's have a look at, did we say AM? Yes, let's go. GT3 AM. Tierman, 26 points clear of Colgan, 3 clear of Ragwani. That's flipped around between last week and this week. Corey Horter, 242, 241 for Phil Butler. Mark McNamara, 231, 211 for Martin Walker. Tristan Koch, 200, and Robert Colbreth, 157, with Kelvin Little on 144 points, making up the top 10. Kurt, with his problem, has slipped out of the top 10 on 122 points, but still persevering with the Ford. Johnson, Vickery, Braid, and Jordanson take us back to 15th. Dominated by Corvettes at the moment with 1, 2, 3, 4 of them in the top 10, 2 Audis, 2 Porsches, 2 Ferraris at this point. 4 different manufacturers in the top 10 there. And as far as GT3 Pro is concerned, well, yeah, it's, I think I'm right in saying Jared Knight with the Ferrari, the Corvette of Bernays, the Audi, the Ford, the Porsche, 5 different manufacturers there in the top 10. So Corvette, Ferrari, Audi, Ford, and Porsche. They're the 5 manufacturers at the moment in the top 10 in the Pro split. Jared Knight asking a question that I can't answer, actually. Although what's going to be interesting, Adam Lavis, as we wrap this one up, what are we, 22 past 10? Geez, early mark. Look at us go. This time next week, we'll be talking about drop rounds. They'll be coming into the equation as soon as round 7's done. So that's exciting. And then we get into the last 3 weeks of the campaign where everything can change again and often does. Let's say a big thanks to all the people that make it possible for us to do what we do here on the platforms of the GSRC, including Sprayton Siders, Waste Options, merch.tgsrci.com, Orbic Australia, Lobesy Racing, M-Wave Australia, and Flash Graphics. A big thanks to all of them. Without any of them and their ongoing continued valued support of the platforms of the GSRC, we wouldn't be here, put simply. It's a bloody obvious fact or reality of the world we live in. Without their support, this doesn't happen, and I'm not in a job. And Adam Lavis isn't doing his work here on a Monday night. He'd be out there on the track instead, most likely. But yeah, and without them, this doesn't happen. So make sure you show them your love and support, ladies and gentlemen, because they are the reason that we all get to enjoy the racing that these guys put on for us, and the racing that the club puts on. And it's why you guys get to sit at home and there and enjoy it each and every week. And hopefully we'll continue to do so for a long while. Yeah, let's have a look at what's coming your way on the platforms. The Gentleman Sim Racing Club across Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Off to, oh, hang on. There's a short circuit at Magello. Okay. News to me. For Formula V tomorrow night.
So basically, you instead of turning left and then going to the Ariadas, you just go straight through to the front straight.
That makes sense. Slightly shortened lap, but hey, it'll work for Formula V. It'd be a bloody long lap around there in a Formula V. We've already worked that out already. We've had a race there in Formula V. It was good fun. Formula V for Mugello Short tomorrow night. 3 sprint races in round 6 of introductory Formula. Remember, this is the start of the second week of this campaign, or second half of the campaign in week 6 of term 3 for all of our categories. But run to the checkered flag is underway. Autodromo Mugello, the full circuit there for the Wings and Slicks Super Formulas. Super Formula Light, rather, to follow at 8:55 Eastern Standard Time. That's what Tuesday Night Motorsport looks like for you this week. That's not broadcast, nor is Wednesday night, the production car challenge around the... Oh, wow. We keep picking the good circuits, don't we? Circuit de la Sarthe for the 24 Hours of Le Mans in GT1. That'll be 2 sprint races from 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that'll equate to, about a 4-lap race in race 1 and a 6 or 7 lap race in race 2. Good stuff. Hockenheimring follows for sprint racing in the real Italian flavour this week when you look at the schedule, with a couple of exceptions in the middle, but a real European flavour of the week, especially Wednesday night. So France, where we've just come off the back of a brilliant Olympics, into the Hockenheimring for the GT4 Challenge. 2 sprint races there, 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. Thursday night, LMP2 Downforce Legends, WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, sprint racing on the agenda. Hopefully back on deck as well with Daniel Corriasaro and yours truly, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Then on to Mugello for a 40-minute hit out in the Sprayton side of Porsche Cup, 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. Friday night, we're back, although I believe Joe Baldwin's off this week, so no idea what's going on with regards to the broadcast on Friday night. Not happening at this stage. Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit, 35 laps, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If we can bring it to you, we will. If not, then obviously we'll be back next Friday night for IndyCar. Bathurst in the Formula Vs. That would be mega. 32 laps on Saturday night as Mountain Men continues at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Next week, week 7, getting underway with the doubleheader we've already been previewing tonight, ladies and gentlemen. 25 minutes of sprint car, supercar racing, sprint style, from 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Fuji International Speedway, the no chicane version of that circuit, actually. On the platforms of the GSRC across Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. We're bringing you Super 2 next Monday night. Then we'll bring you GT3 Pro from Road America over 60 minutes from 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. Bit of carryover time with that because it is Road America. We won't start bang on 8:45, but we're looking forward to it nonetheless. 8:45 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time for the commencement of week 7 on the platforms of the Gentleman's Sim Racing Club. Excellent stuff. Merch.tgsrci.com or gsrcmerch.myshopify.com is where you go for all your GSRC merch needs and requirements. There it is. Looking good. I've still got the t-shirt that was just shown on screen there. Good bit of kit, that. Durable. Because I wear it a lot because I actually, it's a very comfortable shirt. It's my bed shirt most nights. True story. So, on that note, we are done. Night 1 of week 6 in term 3 over and out. Brenton Hobson, Matty Dench, the 2 pros, cleaning up in their respective splits. Starkey getting another W in Super 3, of course. And, of course, well done to Daniel Yeaman and the other winners across GT3 Pro, AM and AM. It's been a good showing as per usual. Just as we're about to head off, we've got Sam Stride actually just jumping into the booth, but I'm just wondering whether he wants to have a chat on air or whether he's going to have a chat to us off air. Sam? The fact that
I thought you guys finished.
No, you stick around, mate. If you want to have a chat to us off air, I'm literally signing off at the moment, so stick around.
That's right. I'm not going to hold you up, mate.
We will have a chat to you in just a moment as soon as we get off air here. Of course, Sam, a valued member of our on-track team, but also our race control team as well. So we'll get to him in a moment, but we'll say goodbye to you in the meantime, folks. Thank you very much for coming along for the ride on Waste Options and merch.tgsrci.com. Monday Night Motorsport on the platforms of the Gentleman's Sim Racing Club. We sincerely hope that you've enjoyed it across Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. You wouldn't be here, obviously, if you weren't enjoying it. So thanks very much for your company. Enjoy the rest of your week. And, of course, on the way out, it was mentioned there a few moments ago with Hobbo, we do punch above our weight. Our best ever away Olympics and our second best to Sydney 2000. 18 gold, 19 silver, and 16 bronze for 53 medals in total. A great haul, our best ever as far as gold we're concerned. And well done to the Nine Network for their extraordinary coverage over the course of 3 magnificent weeks in Paris. The Paralympics start August 28 local time, August 29 Australian Eastern Standard Time. The US Open tennis not too far away either. The big sporting events continue on, including Week 6 of Term 3 on the platforms of the Gentleman's Sim Racing Club. We look forward to your company on Thursday night. In the meantime, as I sign off, don't forget, replay of the closing ceremony from Paris, currently airing in all markets except WA. It'll be with you in WA in about 50 minutes' time. On behalf of Adam Lavis and all the crew here, I'm Zach Caban bidding you a very good night. Thanks for your company. Another great doubleheader. Road Atlanta into Imola. And we look forward to Thursday night when we go to Laguna Seca and Magello. Until then, thanks for your company, everybody. I'm Zach Caban. Bye for now.